Come on, TikTok. Come on, TikTok. I said, come on. What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me for another live here on TikTok. We got a nice little dual stream going. We have a stream going on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to see what's going on the screen, what's going on, Puddin' Talk? Always happy to see you here. Welcome back. Hope your weekend is going absolutely fantastic. Calvin Jackson is in the house. What's going on, Cal? Always happy to see y'all joining. We're talking about Palau tonight. We're just going to let a few more people file in here. Again, if you want to see what we got on the screen here, definitely join this YouTube stream. Handle is all the same. It's Glenny with the Henny. What's going on, Traymar? How you doing, family? Hope you are doing all right tonight. Cryptophonics, what's going on, family? Always happy to see you. It's a beautiful day, man. Appreciate y'all for running those likes up early. Let's see if we can get this thing to 5,000 real quick, fast, and in a hurry, because we got a lot to talk about. I have been watching from the mountaintops. Barry Doge, what's going on, family? Before we get started, you guys already know the deal. Tonight's live stream sponsored by Tropical Smoothie. Shout out to everybody over at Tropical Smoothie. Ashjan is in the building. What's going on, Ashjan? Traymar says he's doing good, real good. Awesome. I love to hear it. Tomorrow, it's a holiday, y'all. It's Labor Day. So only the extreme workaholics are going to be out there working tomorrow. So shout out to everybody that's got to still put in that time tomorrow. Make that coin. That's that holiday pay. That's good. That's good. All right. Tonight we're talking about Palau. What is the subject matter? Gala going down. And it's going, oh my God. I looked at Gala earlier today. I saw the video that Joshua had put up on it. And not Jake, but Joshua, the one that's always talking about Gala games. And this is why I always say it's so important to be mindful of who you follow on this app. Jonathan is in the house. What's going on, Jonathan? It's so important to be mindful of who you follow on this app, because if you follow, like, if you following the TikTokers, or like all they doing is the dancing, right? Or they got the little chimichangas out there, or they got like the pants that's too tight and they're just trying to get your attention for the lust. You are missing out on money. You're missing out on pertinent information, and I don't see why you would do that. But if you follow wholesome crypto TikTokers that can keep you abreast to everything that's going on in the crypto space, you're going to be able to make some moves. Today, I'm getting ready to go to a family function, and I'm catching Josh's video on the way out the door. And he's like, and again, Josh is Mr. Gala Games himself. Like, whenever I think of Gala Games, I think about Josh. Whenever I see Gala Games, I see Josh. Whenever I see Josh, I think about Gala Games, right? Calvin Hill pushed Gala to 93.8 of these crypto. Oh, he pushed Gala to 93.8% of these cryptocurrencies. Yeah. He pushed Gala. 93% of them are going to zero. A strong argument could be made for that, right? But if I hadn't seen Josh's video, probably wouldn't have got into this short when I did. It is, it's doing okay. It's not doing too bad. I didn't catch it when it started to fall last night, but we still caught it where it had a decent amount of meat on the bone, ended up taking a little bit of profit, which was crazy because had a little bit of a snafu with the trade. I showed you guys my mobile trade setup, whatever I use when I'm out and about, and it hiccuped right in the middle of a trade. So I'm on the phone with support, and I'm like, yo, y'all got to fix this. Like, we got something going down right now. Like, this has to work. Like, I need this running at peak optimality. And they were like, oh, sorry, we'll get it running. We'll get it running. So long story short, we got it back up. All is well. Crisis averted. And I want to say thank you to the people who are on the YouTube stream as well. Shout out to y'all. I see y'all. And so we caught Josh's video, ended up putting in a short at around, where are we at? 1668. We're now down to 1643. So, pretty decent. What's going on, Yucatan? Hope you're doing okay. What's my view on the Bitcoin cash chart? We'll take a look at that here, Trey. Just don't let me forget. We got a lot to talk about here today, and I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. I figure we're going to be on this thing probably about an hour and a half. Now, y'all know whenever I say that, it's 8:47 now. It'll be well before 3 a.m. before we get off this thing, but all things being considered equally, like, we want to go about an hour and a half. But when on with you guys is just too much fun. Take all the time you need. I want 4 hours. You can tell, man. He knows how that goes. Yeah. What is going on? Hang on. I can't see your name. Let me move this over. Always MVY. What's going on? Hope you're doing okay. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. So right now we're talking about the deal with Palau because, again, I had, no lie, 10, 12, maybe 15 people in inboxes from TikTok to Twitter to some people hitting me up on the company website, and they were like, what's this deal with Palau? I heard you talking about it. I think it sounds good, but I've also kind of heard some FUD about it, and I just kind of want that level-headed approach. I'm coming to you because I know you're going to shoot me straight. I know you're going to keep things on the level with me, and you're right. I am. So, and I've seen those videos, and shout out to you guys. Like, I enjoy this because whenever you hear something, right, there's a great many of you that will screen capture the clip. And I don't know how you all do this as fast as you do, because it's almost like you would have to be recording the whole entire live. But you managed to screen capture this little clip, and it has all the context that I need in order to say, okay, I understand what was said. Cool, let's go ahead and retort. Let's make a retort for that. So, all right, shout out to the people that already have the red folder. You already know. I have no clue what to do with it. Cool. Let's get you plugged in. Let's get you plugged in, big. All right. So I've seen videos, and it's people who, and I'm not taking shots, but I got to call things on the level. I got to get the steak with the potatoes, right? And so I've seen people say it doesn't work. That's funny because I'm on like 18 exchanges with it. That's so weird. I wonder why it worked for me and it didn't work for them. Anyway, I've seen people say things like it's illegal. We're going to address that. I've seen people say everything from, just be careful, and just comments that one would make if they haven't gone through and done the reading. So I encourage and I invite you all to join me on this voyage. Again, if you are on YouTube, you're looking at this in real time. YouTube, if you could tell me if that audio is coming in clear for you guys, I just want to be sure. I just want to be sure. I don't want any feedback, so I won't turn it on my end. But if you guys could just comment. Juan, what's going on, Juan? Juan Mendez is watching from YouTube. Juan, you're my YouTube guy, so let me know if this is coming in clear for you, the audio. I want to make sure everybody can hear. So right now, if you guys are on TikTok, you can't see my screen, but if you're on YouTube, you can see my screen right now. Juan kind of has the best seat in the house. You can see everything that's on my computer screen. He just can't see my handsome mug, right? So steak and potatoes goes very well together. I told you I'm a foodie, right? My wife's a foodie. This is why I married her. She can't see me. So yeah, we're gonna set the record straight tonight, right? Because the comments that I hear about this Palau thing, and I don't fault the content creators entirely. I wish we would read things, and the YouTube channel is the same handle as it is here on TikTok, Crypto Glenn. And oftentimes we offer these knee-jerk reactions, right? Someone says something, we go into our feelings, and we offer the emotional-based response. And oftentimes the emotional-based response is just wrong. It's not rooted in many truths at all. And I think if you're going to do well in this space, investing period, you have to make decisions that are rooted in truth. So that's what we're going to bring you here tonight. We're actually going to go with the truth. Everything that I'm showing you here is something that I've consulted with a immigration attorney before I even started this process, in conjunction with the information that I've been able to find myself with doing as simple as a 10-minute search on Google, right? You guys know me. It's never my intent to mislead people, but I got to be honest with you, and that's exactly what you're going to get here tonight. Nothing but objectivity. All right. Cool. Steven says that they can hear on YouTube. Ash Jan popped over to YouTube. What's going on, Ash Jan? So you guys can see everything that's going on here on the screen. So essentially, what the Palau ID is. Palau, let me start from the beginning. Palau is a republic. They are in the Pacific Ocean, very, very small group of islands whose main GDP was made up of tourism and fishing. The Ro-Ro hits about 3 years ago. Everybody's, we got to stay inside. We can't go anywhere. If you know, you know. I don't want to say anything bananaed, but if you know, you know. And Palau's economy took a dive. They lost the fishing. They lost the tourism. What's going on, Stop Loss? I see you in here, brother. Hope you're doing all right. They lost the fishing. They lost tourism. And essentially their economy got hit very, very hard. But to their credit, and this is what happens when you have leaders that are in power that are very forward thinking. And they said, we've got to figure out how we're actually going to differentiate our economy if we're going to survive. Never mind if another situation happens where everybody's got to stay inside, but even just how do we get better at operating in the 21st century? And so I think they took a page out of Estonia's book, just like I think Dubai is taking a page out of Estonia and Palau's book. And they offered what is known as an e-residency. Now, this works for Palau because they actually use this as a way to drive revenue into their country, while at the same time, this is a program that is sponsored directly from the Palau government. Okay, so it's not like there's somebody behind the curtains that's making this happen. Like, no, this is directly from the Palau government. So they got together with the company, RNS.ID. Right? It's not going to do it for me because I've already done it and I haven't cleared my cookies. But if you go to rns.id, you can actually read up on this in full. These two parties, they get together, they come out with this product that allows people who operate businesses in the World Wide Web a way to be able to reach different markets while not being pigeonholed by the same restraints that might be hurting them in their native land, right? And because the company that they got with is a very Web3 centric company, it made instantaneous sense for them to say, hey, if we make this available for people, there's going to be folks who are going to be able to meet KYC standards because they actually have this ID, while at the same time being able to get access to some other things. Some of the other perks and benefits from this is if you go to Palau is a lot like Cuba. When you go to Cuba, the foreigners who are in Cuba, they pay a different rate. They even utilize different currency than the nationals. So if you go to Cuba, there's a currency for nationals. There's a currency that you get being a tourist. It's just the way that it is. So Palau, in a sense, operates the same way. Palau, they have pricing that they have for nationals, and they have pricing that they have for tourists. And one of the other reasons why Palau wanted to do this is because they said they were getting tourists from a certain demographic and they wanted to make it more broad, right? So if you have this Palau ID, whenever you visit Palau, and I highly encourage everyone to do so. I mean, they did not have to make this program available. I mean, it benefits them too, but the fact that we're actually able to use it, to our benefit is extremely beneficial. And, the missus and I, we've got plans to hop on a plane, go over to Palau and just patron the local economy, because this is something that's benefiting us and it's something that's going to benefit us moving forward. And so if you go to Palau and you have your Palau ID, you basically get local pricing on everything from your hotels. You get points, the food that you pay, on everything. You are essentially a local of Palau. So it's a really, really neat situation that got set up. And one of the things that people in the crypto space are using it for is it allows them to expand their digital footprint, if you will. Now we can actually gain exposure to exchanges that maybe we couldn't gain exposure to before, because maybe you live in an area that will not allow you, or that is blockaded by the geography of where you're at. So you can't get on a certain exchanges because you're in Canada. You can't get on certain exchanges because you inhabit a different country, if you will. With the Palau ID, you don't have to worry about that. I've KYC'd on at least 18 different exchanges. So now when the bull run comes and I've got to figure out where do I need to go to offload the crypto or whatever it is my exit plan is, I don't have to worry. There's a lot of people that are going to have to be baptized by fire, if I can say that, because they're going to have to go through the painstaking process. Coinbase crashes all the time. Oh my God, it's a bull market. Oh my God, the market's crashing. Let me go to Coinbase and try to execute a trade. You can't get on Coinbase because it's down. So if you're holding your own crypto, if you're on multiple different exchanges, for you, it's going to be as easy as, okay, I've got my crypto. I'm KYC'd on various exchanges. Let me just pick whichever one I want to go to, whichever one has liquidity that I need. If I'm trying to get out, whichever one has the liquidity that I need, get on that exchange, execute my trade, and I'm done. I've said this probably for the last year and a half. You want to be on as many exchanges as you can so you don't get hurt when certain exchanges go down, because traffic is at such an influx, the service can't handle it. And I've been in crypto since 2016, 2017. I've seen this happen twice now. Excuse me. The exchanges, they just get bombarded with so much traffic, you can't do anything. You can't execute a trade, so you've just got money on exchange. It's just sitting there, and by the time you can get on, the move has already come and gone, or maybe you can't execute to as efficiently as you would have if you hadn't had the problem of not being able to get on. The other thing is, look at it like this: what happens if as we move closer to the halving, as we move closer to the bull run, if all things remain equal, the projects that are going to run the hardest and have the most amount of exposure, I know people are like, it's XRP, it's not going to do it with ETH, it's not going to do it with Bitcoin because the market caps are already as big as they are. And there is a certain truth to that. I'm not going to sit here as someone who likes Bitcoin and lie to you. Like, no, the bigger coins, they take more energy, and I don't mean power, right? If you I look at money as energy. It takes more energy to move a coin that has a higher market cap than a coin that has a smaller market cap. By opposite, on the other side of the coin, those coins that have bigger market caps are also better insulated when the markets start to crash. Look what happened to Gala today. Earlier today, a lot of coins were down. Gala was down 12%. Bitcoin was down like not even 0.1%. You see what I'm saying? So bigger the market cap, yes, it takes more money to move it up, but it also gives you better insulation if things go down. You know, crypto, things can be, not always, but things can be volatile. So it's actually beneficial to have a good sturdy base, in my opinion, and probably of the opinions of others who have built solid portfolios in the past, to have a good, strong base that is made up of cryptocurrencies that have been battle tested, that have been proven, and that are of a certain market cap, so you still gain certain upside exposure. But the projects that are going to run in the next bull run, if all things remain equal as they have been the last few bull runs, we haven't even seen them now. They're not out. Some are just on the cusp of getting ready to get released. Some are just like, you won't know about it until you know about it. And if you've been in the bull run before, you know, you're looking at coins like, man, where did this come from? I remember Matic being 33 cents and it ran to like, I don't know, over $1 or $2. Was it $3? Somebody fact check me on that. Matter of fact, I think I got it here. Hold up. Where's Matic? Yeah, so Matic ran to, almost $3. It was $2 and like 88 cents. That's a rough, I'm just glancing at the chart here. $2.88, right? So you're not going to know what coin is going to run unless, one, you've got your nose in the books and you're constantly reading, or two, you see like these charts start to blow up. And as you get closer to the bull run, there's a strong likelihood that you will see that. May not be for certain, but there's a very strong likelihood that you're going to see that. All right. So the other reason why you want to be on as many exchanges as you can, because not all exchanges get all coins at the same time. There used to be a thing called the Bitcoin, or not the Bitcoin, but the Coinbase Premium. Coins would get released on lower tier exchanges. And then when word came out that Coinbase was going to list these coins, they started to pump ridiculously. I don't know about you, but from an investment standpoint, it almost makes more sense to be in those coins before they get listed on the higher tier exchanges, so you can ride those coins into the pump. If all things remain same as they have before in the past, and this happens, if they get listed on Binance, they get listed with Coinbase, Gemini, whatever the case may be, if you're able to get in them early, that's going to be more to your benefit. But again, just don't FOMO into the coin because it's new, and you obviously do your research, look at it, make sure the fundamentals are there, the tokenomics are there, and it checks other boxes that it needs to check for you to make that investment. But understand the benefit of riding a coin into a pump because you got it on a lower tier exchange and simply were present as it got listed onto more reputable higher tier exchanges. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? If that makes sense, put one in the chat. All right. So Palau comes out with this program for anyone and everyone who wants to partake in it, right? And they allow you, thank you, Yucatan, and they allow you to simply KYC with them in your native country, wherever you're at right now, and assuming you don't have any priors, any major priors, you're not like a hardened criminal, then, there's a strong likelihood that you're actually going to get approved and welcomed into the program. So for me, it took about a week and a half from application to the time where I actually had the card in my hand. Thank you, King. And what comes with that is, again, your ability to KYC. People often ask me, should you run a VPN? I think you should run a VPN for security. Does it have added benefits? Sure. But I think if nothing else, you should run it for security purposes, right? Because it's just going to protect your traffic. All right. So when it comes to the legality of this situation, here, we're looking at this on USA.gov. This is an official government website, and it basically says how to get dual citizenship. And if you're looking at what your current residency or citizenship is at a country that you're in now, anytime you look up to pick up an additional residency or citizenship, it's looked at as a dual citizenship. So let's just see what the U.S. has to say about obtaining dual citizenship. And the first line on the USA.gov website is having a dual citizenship, also known as dual nationality, means being a citizen of the United States and another country at the same time. Okay. If you go down here, under the first paragraph, it says get dual citizenship. Your ability to become a dual citizen depends on the policies of the second country where you're applying for citizenship. You could stop right there if you wanted to. And again, don't take what I'm saying as the gospel right now. Go to usa.gov/dual-citizenship and read this for yourself. Then if you still need a little bit more reassurance, contact an immigration attorney. They're probably going to tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. I know because I had the conversation with the immigration attorney. But again, I would encourage you to do this. Check your sources, audit my content, audit what I'm telling you here, and see if these things actually line up to what you're being told. And if not, come back and have a conversation with me, because I would be highly, highly surprised. But again, the dual citizenship, if you are a citizen of another country, some countries allow people to keep their citizenship after becoming U.S. citizens, while others do not. Because if you're applying for the Palau ID, if you're in the United States, that part doesn't necessarily pertain to you. You're more so focused on your eligibility to get dual citizenship is dependent upon the policies of the second country where you're applying. So if you're looking at Palau, okay, this was a program that was sponsored directly by the government of Palau. So then what's the policy? The policy is come on in. We will welcome you. Do you have any priors? Are you a criminal? Are you someone we need to worry about? No? Come on in. They're going to do the background check anyway. And if you don't pass, then okay, you may not meet the requirements to pass the policy. But if you do, you're greenlit. You're okay. Okay? Let's continue to scroll down here. Does anybody have any questions on that before I continue? One in the chat. If there's no questions, if there is a question, feel free to ask. Now is probably a good time. So again, I want to cover this because I want to put this to rest. Sorry, YouTube. I know I just banged the mic. I want to put this to rest as best I can. And it's important for me to do so because as we get closer to that having, there's going to be more important conversations that we need to have. And I don't mind having this conversation. I just don't want it to take up as much time as it absolutely has to. Right? We need to be looking at other projects. We need to be looking at where tax obligations. Oh, Udi, that's a perfect question. Tax obligations are from your home country right now. So the way Palau is set up, because you're not actually in Palau, you're not generating any revenue, tax revenue for Palau. They even have this on their website, rns.id. The taxes that you incur from having this, you need to pay them in your home country. I'm always going to tell you pay your taxes. I'm never going to tell you not to, don't pay. I'll tell you, hey, if there's a way that you can legally lower your tax liability, yes, do that. And we can have that conversation. Did I have to set up my family trust, Glenn? Yes. But that was totally different. That's unrelated to this. That's for, again, the lower of tax liability when it comes time to pay your taxes. But I would encourage everybody to look at that as well. We even sometimes on this live, there is a family attorney who pops in the live and oftentimes can help you guys out with those questions. I'll need to grab, I can see her profile. I think it's like family attorney is her screen name, if I'm remembering that correctly. But she may pop in here a little bit later. We'll just have to wait and see. All right. What was I saying? That's right. So looking at this again, when it comes time to pay your taxes, always pay your taxes, right? You don't want to have to wrestle around with the IRS. Another type of attorney. Yeah. So you need to be in contact with a tax attorney. You need to be in contact with the CPA. You need to be in contact with an attorney that, oh my God, I can see it. I'm having a brain fart right now. Estate planning. That's what it is. Estate planning. I know if I just gave myself enough time, I get it. But you need to be in contact with at least those 3 to 4 people. And you might want to start having those conversations now. Okay? Don't wait on this. Have those conversations now. You want to already have your team set up so when it's time to go, you're literally picking up a phone. If you even need to pick up the phone and have a conversation, you're having that conversation. All right? Almost at that goal, y'all. Let's run that like button up to 5,000 likes for me. This is going to help other people who may be in crypto find their way into the live. and get the information that they need. Because again, I just want to disseminate this objective, the truthful information to you all, so that you all can go out and share this with people. Okay. Because again, we need to put the misinformation to rest. And all we're doing here is the same thing that everybody can do. Just read. It's so easy. I get it. Reading is not sexy. It's not fun. We don't like to do it after high school, but it's so important. It's so important. If I hadn't been reading, I would have never found this. Who is this? Cool. Got you. All right. Awesome. Yeah, never would have found that. Never would have found that. Hold on. Let me get that out the way. Sorry, YouTube. I know I'm late, but what did I miss? So we're just going over some of the Palau digital residency program information. All right. There's been a lot of misinformation that's been spoken about it. There's people who are, if I can even say, scaring people to get started with the program. And I'm taking a very pragmatic approach to show people that there's nothing to be afraid of. This is a program that was directly sponsored by the government of Palau, the Republic of Palau, and the United States allows for this. This is a conversation that I had with an immigration attorney who essentially corroborates everything that I'm telling you here. I'm encouraging people, right? Go to usa.gov/dual dash citizenship, usa.gov/dual dash citizenship, and read this up here. If you're on YouTube, you can see this on my screen. If you're not, go to that website. You can see it. Also, have the conversation with an immigration attorney, someone who can actually point you in the right direction. If they come back and tell you something different, have a conversation with me, because I would be very, very surprised. But again, I'm doing this just in the name of transparency, because I want everybody to be on the level, and I want everybody to be working with the same information. There's too much misinformation in crypto. And a vast majority of that misinformation comes from the fact that people do not like to read. The devil's in the details. The other thing that's in the details is the money. 99% of people who are in crypto came for the money. Appreciate y'all for those likes. So let's get that 10K. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. The vast majority of people who came to crypto are here because of the money. You want to make money in crypto, you're going to have to read. It's going to take some work. I'm not going to be one of these influencers or crypto personalities who's like, oh yeah, it's easy. Yeah, just do it. It's easy. It's easy. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Oh, it's easy. No. It's going to take some work. Anything you've ever worked for in life took work. Anything you've ever wanted in life is going to require some hard work. You want to lose weight? It's going to take some work. You want to make some money? It's going to take some work. You want to buy that big fancy house? It's definitely going to take some work. Have you seen these interest rates? My Lord, it's wowing. I'm here as a result of tiki-taki and stumbled across it. Hey, we're happy to have you. Pack Rat, I'm happy to have you. Welcome. TY, is there a list that you have that I can get or buy? TY, a list for what? What do you need? Crypto Chaos, what's going on, boss? How you doing, family? Always happy to see you here. Just trying to get caught up with some of your guys' comments here. All right. So it's going to take some work. And if anybody says, oh, yeah, man, just put some money here, it's easy peasy, run. The other thing I would say, shout out to Smoothie King. The other thing I would say, tropical smoothie. Thank you. Tropical smoothie. The other thing that I would say is be mindful of walking into groups where everyone is of the same thought process. That collective mindset, that groupthink, oftentimes does not work out to everyone's credit. Does everybody here remember the Forex boom back in 2021? It was real popular amongst my people. Where are the Forex people at now? Yeah, we're going to make some money. It's Forex. This is going to be easy. Oh, bro, you going to work that 9 to 5 forever. You need to be doing Forex. Where are the Forex people at now? And every time I see one of these videos, it's a bunch of people that look like me. Trey. Trey. It's a bunch. Oh, okay. No, stop loss. But were you with like the MLM Forex? Or do you just trade currency? Exactly my point. Well, I'm not talking about the people. You may open up your TD Ameritrades and you actually trade. Hey, I'm going to trade the Japanese yen against the dollar, the pound against the peso, right? Because you can do that. You don't need MLM for that. I'm talking about the people who bought the MLM program. Just found it on my own prop firm. Oh, dope. Okay. Nice. I'm talking about the people who bought into the MLM program and they would go to like dinner at Chili's for these recruiting meetings. And it was just like, yeah, we're going to make so much money. But at the end of the day, they had to split the bill. You see what I'm saying? Like the math isn't mathing. So when it comes to crypto, be mindful of walking in to communities where there's no one playing devil's advocate, where everyone is of the same mindset. It can be problematic. Rarely, I'm not going to say never, but rarely does it work out to the benefit of the collective. Okay? Next up, on more about the Palau. Let's just Google. Can U.S. citizenship be revoked? Can it? Because that was one of the bigger issues, if I can say that. Oh man, if you get this Palau ID, they might revoke your U.S. citizenship. Yucatan knows. That man knows. Yucatan man knows. I'm going to just let y'all see this, right? I know it's on YouTube, but I'm going to let y'all see this right here. You might need to rotate your phone. Let's go to something a little bit more heavy. Let's go to the Constitution. And under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, the government cannot revoke citizenship of a natural-born U.S. citizen. However, you as a U.S. citizen, you can renounce your citizenship if you want to. If you want to. If you want to. Denaturalized U.S. citizens are subject to removal, deportation from the United States. So if you're someone who came over from another country, you were born in another country, came over to the United States, you've been naturalized or nationalized, but you're not a U.S. born citizen, yes, but probably not for what we're talking about here. Again, consult an immigration attorney. Okay? But you just seen it right there, and that is from findlaw.com. Under the 14th Amendment, the U.S. Constitution, the government cannot revoke the citizen of a natural-born U.S. citizen. We need to go a little bit farther, or is everybody good with that? Because if we need to go farther, we can go farther. Again, bring me your reservations that you have with this program. There's an affiliate link here, but you notice I'm not pushing the affiliate link. It doesn't matter to me if you utilize a Palau ID or not. My biggest thing, like my North Star on this channel, is no one gets to say, no one ever told me. I'm taking that excuse away from everybody. Oh, I couldn't get onto this exchange, man, because, oh, yeah, this blockaded me. Were you a Palau digital e-residency? No? Oh, well, man, if you had did that, you'd have been good. Oh, no one ever told me. We've been talking about this for months. 4 months. For months. So if you guys have any questions about it, YouTube, if you all, guys and gals, children, ducks, anybody has questions about it, let me know. I'm here. What are my thoughts about the Ripple blowout party? I should go. Y'all think I should go to the Ripple party? I'm going to go to the Ripple party. It's Crypto Glenn. He's funning us. That's the other thing I want to talk about. Why? Why is it? You notice, at least I don't think, not once have I said people who are spreading misinformation about this Palau situation are fudding it. You'll notice those words never came out my mouth, because I feel like this term FUD is, although that could have been FUD because none of that stuff is rooted in truth, but I'm not, why is it that we have, whenever someone has a different mindset or a different set of beliefs that we have, or different information than we have, and they want to bring it to the forum, if it doesn't fit with inside the conventional frame of think that we're operating with, or we disagree with it, why is it that we call it FUD? Why? See, time's gonna prove one of y'all right and one of y'all wrong. It's not FUD simply because they disagree with you or simply because they have a different set of information. Like, it's not FUD. It's just a disagreement. But if they're not bringing, it's human nature, 100%. But if they're not bringing any empirical data to the conversation, then yeah, it might be FUD. But it might be FUD. All right. So it seems like folks are good with the Palau information. So take this, disseminate it, spread it. Hey, Crypto Glenn, he took us, we looked up the Constitution, and under the 14th Amendment, the United States government cannot revoke the citizenship of a natural born U.S. citizen. We've taken a look at the USA.gov. It's an official government website. You can't just roll into HostGator and be like, yo, let me get that .gov extension on my website. No. You've got to be a government body to get a .gov extension on the end of the website. This is, sorry, YouTube again. This is USA.gov. How to get dual citizenship. Your eligibility to become a dual citizen depends on the policies of the second country where you are applying. You are applying to Palau. Palau is the government that is sponsoring this e-residency program, just like Estonia, just like Dubai, whenever they finish theirs, if it's not already done. You're going to put in your paperwork. You're going to do your background. They're going to do your background check. And if you're good, you're good. If you're good, look, let me show you what you're going to get. If you're good, oh, man down. If you're good, you're going to get one of these. If you got one of these, put one in the chat. If you got one of these, put one in the chat. It's red. It's not pink. Although in this light, it does look kind of fuchsia, right? It's mauve. It might be mauve. I know some people that have this because they just said they have it. Trey Mars got it. I've got it. People in my DMs have told me that they got it. Not the red folder. Right? You know what comes on the front of that? You know it's a big deal when it's got a wax seal. Construction Brat is red, but I assure you, this red folder has more utility than the red folder you're used to dealing with, or at least used to hearing about. That wax seal, oh man, that was a real deal. That wax seal was a real deal. Let me make sure there's nothing personal in here. Nah. Inside is one of these. Inside is one of these. You open it. It's a nice little welcoming message. I want to make sure there's like no numbers on here. I know all of that's on the ID. I just want to make sure there's no like personal information number. This program is big enough. It's got residents from over 83 countries. Over 83 countries. Here's the back. And when you get it, on the inside, your ID is going to be right there. You go to Twitter, you notice that flag that's next to my name on Twitter, which is the same handle as here and on YouTube, Crypto Glenn. That little blue flag with the yellow dot in the middle. Yeah. That's me just saying I'm standing in solidarity with the folks who are from Palau. What's up, Awoken? What's up, Awakened by You? Happy to have you here. So there's nothing to be afraid of with this program. This is an official, again, government sponsored from the Republic of Palau. We've just seen from USA.gov an official government website, like what is it going to take for you to gain dual residency? And they're saying it's basically up to the country that you're applying to. Residence, how's it going, brother? Happy to have you here. So if you think this is something that's going to benefit you, apply for it. But before you apply for it, continue to do your research, rns.id. Continue to do your research. Consult, even if you want to go as far to consult an immigration attorney, find one that will have the consultation with you. I would be surprised if they did not tell you the same thing that I'm telling you right here. And do you know why I can speak with this kind of conviction? Because I've spoken to an immigration attorney. I did this before I even put the first key of the first letter of my name on that application. And I did my 10 hours of reading, trying to make sure that I wasn't doing something that was going to get anybody to any hot water. But I encourage you, don't take my word for it. Have the conversation with the immigration attorney. What's going on, T-Rob? How you doing, family? Appreciate those roses, my man. Appreciate that love. Thank y'all so much. Have the conversation with the immigration attorney. Comb through USA.gov on their citizenship section and see if you can find anything that refutes this. This is going to be beneficial to people. I can't do it for you. I can't do it for you. Woke, what's up, family? Is that another Palau residency I see hanging out in the chat? It might be. It might be. Happy T-Rob, we're talking about the Palau Digital Residency Program. That is an official government-sponsored program from the Republic of Palau. Am I leaving the country? I've already left, baby. I'm already left. Dual residency, USA and e-residency with Palau. So let me bring some people up to speed here. I had a fair number, again, 12, maybe 15 people who had contacted me about this. I had been out, just hanging out with the family, just kind of doing some stuff. Hey, there's some people out there that are spreading FUD. This is their words, not mine. There's some people that are spreading FUD about the program. I want more information on it. I just, can you, give this your approach? Because you're approaching from a very pragmatic, level head, non-emotional, very Palau, P-A-L-A-U, from a very neutral standpoint. You give the good with the bad, the facts, no hopium, no hearsay, no conjecture, just the objective information. I'm like, sure. Because if there's that many people that are reaching out, we got to have the conversation again. Trey, what's going on, Trey? Hope you're feeling better, my man. And so the whole entire idea behind this program was to say, hey, we are a smaller nation. Appreciate the chili, man. That's hot and the fire. We're a smaller nation whose economy has been ravaged through the pandemic. And to better position ourselves in the 21st century, Trey showing the love, man. I appreciate it. That's my guy. Y'all make sure y'all follow Trey. He goes live early in the morning. What do you live, like 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, maybe early? Thank you, T-Rob. Appreciate you, my man. And they said, we want to get into all things Web3. We want to position ourselves differently for the 21st century. We want to offer a digital e-residency program to anyone who wants to join. Same as Estonia. Dubai is now coming online saying that they want to do this, if in fact they haven't already done it. And they're saying, oh, T-Rob, I apologize. Thank you, sister. Please accept my apologies. My mistake. And they're saying, if you're in the Web3 space, come take a look at what we got going on. Have this digital e-residency program. This is your gateway to the metaverse. There's a lot of beneficial uses for this card. If you're there, again, you actually get the same pricing that Palau residents get. But if you just go there as a tourist, you're actually paying a different cost for your cars, for your hotel, for your food, for your excursions that you want to go on. With this one, you're a resident. You get the same pricing as all the residents get. An added benefit to this is, as time goes on and more jurisdictions say, if you live in this territory or that territory, you can't utilize this exchange. I'm a Raglan. If you're using this exchange or that exchange, you can't get on because of where you live. Palau ID is saying, hey, an added benefit to what we have going on is you can actually utilize this to KYC. I don't know who that doesn't help. And so if you're of the mindset, I need to be on as many exchanges as possible, so when it comes time to offload my crypto, I've got options, that's probably something that you might want to look into. So you go to rns.id, rns.id, rns.id. As a citizen, can you own property? That's a really good question. I vaguely remember seeing something on that. I need to go back and double check. I just don't want to comment one way or the other and not have it be like 100% factual. And I don't want to point you in the wrong direction. So let me double check on that. You can tell, and I'll definitely get back with you on that. And player, how you doing, brother? Happy trading on Sunday. Hey, what's going on, Jonathan? My man. How you feeling, man? Hope your weekend is going absolutely fantastic. So if you're someone who's in crypto and you're like, okay, yeah, maybe I do need to be on as many exchanges, that's the gateway to do it right there. That's going to be beneficial. It has so many additional benefits, and that is, I don't know if you want to call it an unintended benefit. It can't be unintended because, again, when you really go through and start doing the research behind this, like they did a lot of stuff on purpose. Like they worked with a company that is very heavy in the Web3. A lot of the stuff was done intentional. So, again, don't make any rush decisions. Research it. See if it's right for you. If you need if you need more convincing or more reassurance, have a conversation with an immigration attorney. Tell them what you got going on. Go through USA.gov on their citizenship profile or part of their website and actually see what they have, what they're talking about. Do other countries offer this? Yes. So Estonia offers it. Estonia was one of the first countries to offer it. Dubai has seen a lot of the attention that it's getting, and Dubai is now said to either be working on one. It might already be done. I need to double check that, but I know for sure they said they were going to work on one. Before, to do an e-residency program in Dubai, you needed to open up a business in a free zone. And it was very, very, it was a logistical nightmare. You had to put in your paperwork, then you had to fly over to Dubai to get a health screening because, they want you to be healthy. Then once all your paperwork passed and you had to go get a bank account, and you can't get the bank account unless you actually have your Dubai ID. So I think they're kind of in the middle of revamping some things now. Again, definitely need to double check on that. Don't quote me on that. But they have seen a lot of attention that, Palau has gotten, and they're like, okay, well, we need to do one of these as well. Let me tell you something. If you all are ever in the need of a smoothie, definitely check out Tropical Smoothie Cafe. This is probably one of the better smoothies I've ever had. Very expansive menu. It's so refreshing. They got the good ice too that they blend in here. All real natural fruit, none of that GMO crap, if I can say that. So good. So good. So good. Thank you, Woke Crypto. I appreciate y'all so much. So that's the deal with Palau. Hopefully we have, you like the Island Green Detox? I might have to try that. This is a Passion Paradise Sunset. What is this? Sunrise Sunset. Sunrise Sunset. Sunrise Sunset. It's so good. It's real good. They even had another one on the board I wanted to try. I think it's like a Aki Bowl Recovery. It's got like blueberries, bananas, strawberries, all that jazz. Like their Island Green Detox. I won't like it. It's green. Oh, little sweetener. They really want you detoxed. You've had that one? It's so good. Yeah, my wife put me on game about that one. One day I came home, she was like, here, try this. Because she got me another one. It's like the regular strawberry banana, but it tasted like more water than than anything. And it wasn't even one off. It was 2 times she had got it. And on both times, it just kind of fell flat. Your sunrise, sunset life is, brother. Love you, man. Oh, man. Y'all follow my guy, Jonathan. If there's anybody in here who trades, let me tell you something. You think like my lives are crazy. Jonathan's life is packed with energy, When you're riding those highs, you got to day trade in. And he doesn't even look at candles. He's strictly order book, which is a whole nother animal altogether, man. So if stocks interest you, definitely follow Jonathan. Energy is contagious. Yeah, sometimes it depends on who's making it. Yeah, no, for sure. We've got a restaurant out here, and my wife, she can tell if the guy who we're used to making the food is back there or not. Like, is that distinctive? Crypto Creos, what's going on? I see you on YouTube. Y'all jumping over from TikTok over to YouTube. I appreciate that. Yeah, slap those likes up if you're watching on YouTube. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, definitely do so. Feel free to drop me a follow on here as well as Twitter. All the handles across everything are the same. Crypto Glenn. I really want to do a live during the trade. Yeah, we should definitely get that going, man. Let's try to set something up for this week. Let's try to get something set up for this week. So I'm looking at this. At the bottom of the USA.gov website, it says dual citizenship if you're a U.S. citizen. If you're a U.S. citizen who is seeking dual citizenship, that would be us, people in this live, you must find out if the other country recognizes dual citizenship with the United States. Palau said everybody's welcome. We don't care where. You could be from Mars. Palau wants you. Palau wants you. Palau wants you. As long as you have any crazy priors, you're good. If anyone asks me about trading, I always send them to you. I appreciate that. Night night. Love you lots. I appreciate that, Trey. Thank you. So if there's any questions on the Palau joint outside of me actually showing you my card, because that would just be a security violation and I'm not doing that. What's the cost to get in? Oh, fantastic question. So there's 3 options you can choose from. You can do a 12-month residency. You can do a 5-year and a 10-year. The 1 year is $260. The 10-year, I believe, is $2,500, and the 5-year is $15. Let me double check that. I'll always botch the prices. Let's look at this. Look at this. Yeah, $248 for 1 year. Last I checked, I think it was like $250, $260. $1,039 for a 5-year and a $2,039 for a 10-year. Yep. Confirmed. The 1 year is $250. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Great question. How much does it cost? Yeah, so those are the prices. 1 year, 5-year, and 10-year. I know there's going to be some people who might be apprehensive. I'm going to do the 1 year. Totally fine. You can do that. It's up to you. You can do that. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. What I would suggest is be mindful of when your expiration date is and maybe put in for the renewal a couple months in advance. Because again, it took me about like a week and a half to get mine. And I was like, oh, I need it now. It's taking forever. And I was under the impression that they would give you a digital ID and you could use that ID to KYC. But the digital ID is just to show you what it's going to look like. So it's cool, but the real benefit is having the actual physical ID. Everybody good with that? Everybody good with that? Okay, cool. So that is the Palau news. So hopefully now we can put that to rest. If someone needs a recap, I'd be happy to do that. Oh, we also took a look at the Constitution. Under the 14th Amendment, the United States government cannot revoke the citizenship of a U.S. natural-born citizen. So there's no real way to lose your citizenship doing this. No matter what your favorite crypto TikToker says that doesn't have all the facts. We good on that? We good? Oh, somebody wanted to come up. I just lost it. Who was it? I didn't see who it was. All right. So I was asked when we got started about, I got you, Jay. Hang on. Trey, you were asking me about the Bitcoin cash chart, yes? Jay, what's going on, family? What's that? What is that?
Got no strings on me.
Got no strings on me. Hey.
Did you hear that? You see that video I put out there?
No, I need to check it out. I'm gonna take a look at it after this one. When did you put it out? Today?
Pinocchio song.
Uh-uh.
I got no strings to hold me down.
You know what? Maybe I did see that. I vaguely remember that. Yeah. Maybe I did see that.
I got no strings on me. That's what it's about. You know, having no strings on you.
Yeah, we ain't got no strings. We ain't got no strings. Yucatan says, in order not to pay 120K US, what's going to cost for me to travel there? Probably won't have to stay 6 months to get the benefit. Rat, that's a great question. The plane tickets last I looked might have been like 15 from where I'm at, like 1,500. But it's not terrible. But I think this is probably a better option than doing like the 6 months in a day. You know, if you're from Puerto Rico, if you want to go to Puerto Rico, you can do the 6 months of a day. You can do 6 months in a day to Portugal, and that'll like greatly reduce your tax liability as well. Or you could just uproot and go to Dubai and just be like, I'm not paying any taxes, peace. But then again, I think you have to renounce your U.S. citizenship, because even if you don't, you'll be a tax resident of the United States. And so you still end up paying that tax, baby. So, yeah. If you want to keep your U.S. residency, but you want to, maybe do a different option, Portugal, Puerto Rico, 6 months in a day, consult your estate planner, consult your CPA, consult your immigration attorney. They can all point you in the right direction.
Like I said, man, I want to give you your roses, man. Because I told Calvin about it.
I appreciate that.
I contacted Calvin outside of, TikTok
Mm-hmm.
and let Calvin know about it. And then Calvin said he'll look into it. Then he told me he's going to do it. I said, Glenn got me on it.
Yes, brother.
And then the other day he shared it with everybody.
Hey.
So, I got this from you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you.
Then from there, Calvin did it. Now Calvin sharing it. So, give me your roses, man.
Thank you, brother.
I know where the origin of it came from.
Yes, thank you. I keep my nose and my head down with all things regarding crypto. And if I stumble across something I think is going to help people, I just want to share it. Like I said this early in the stream, my number one goal is to take away people's excuse of no one ever told me. I know that's an excuse we love to use with a lot of different stuff. Oh, if someone would have told me that BlackRock was taking a large stake in 4 out of the 5 major Bitcoin mining companies, I would have bought Bitcoin because that's probably going to be indicative of something. No one told me. Or if I would have known that I could use the Palau digital residency to be able to get on so many different exchanges so I wouldn't have the bottleneck issue when it comes time for me to offload my crypto, I would have did it, but no one ever told me. If someone would have told me that Gala Games was going to sue their partners and it was going to cause a 12% dump in the price, I would have taken a trade. No one ever told me. I want to eliminate as many people's ability to use the no one ever told me excuse as I possibly can. So I appreciate you for sharing that with them. And like I said, people's ability to do well in this space is going to come down to the people that they have proximity to, this access, the information that they have, and if they're willing to do the work. And I really believe, I've told you all this before, I really believe it's going to be those 3 things. I really do.
I agree with you. You talked about it. You said as crypto continues to progress, as the years continue to progress towards the bull run,
Yep.
you mentioned the information is going to become even more vital.
Yep.
You mentioned that in your videos.
Yep.
And people need to take heed instead of, a lot of people say, I don't know about doing that. You might get in trouble or this, that, and the other. And there's no trouble in doing this.
It's no trouble.
I believe it is a U.S. territory.
So Palau, they've got the same banking system as the United States. So a lot of the same banks that are there in the U.S., they have a very strong footprint in Palau. Palau is its own republic. It's separate. They've got their own, government and the whole nine. but they color nicely inside the lines and they work very nicely with a lot of other. It's a very neutral place. Like even if you take a look at the back of that folder, the insert that's in the envelope, they basically have, it's your pledge, right? Where the children of Palau, I take this pledge as your guest to preserve and protect your beautiful and unique island home. I will vow to tread lightly and act kindly, explore mindfully. I shall not take what is not given. I shall not harm what does not harm me. The only footprints I shall leave are those that will wash away. This is a very this borderline reminds me of Thailand and just how in tune and on frequency people are there, right? So like, I can't wait to go. I can't wait to actually patronize the place and just say, hey man, like you guys opened up a million doors for me. And I know that one of the reasons why you elected to do this was so that you could add an additional pillar into your economy. And I just want to support that, right? So I'm going to go. The wife, we're going to get a whole lot of food. We're going to go on excursions and just travel and tip well and just be good residents of Palau. I was going to say tourists, but when you in e-residency, you're not a tourist no more.
They're talking about making it, this is just the beginning of what they're going to be willing to offer.
Yes.
Right here, it's the beginning. And I'm taking this ride because I know potentially, like you said, there's going to be a bottleneck issue. Project Choke Point is still in effect.
It's still in effect. Not going anywhere.
Like I said with that video I put out there with Pinocchio, I got no strings to hold me down. You know what I'm saying?
Got no strings to hold me down. Got no strings to hold me down.
That's what I'm saying. I got no strings on me.
Ain't no strings. That reminded me of Ultron from the Avengers. Yeah.
That's what came to mind, man. I was thinking about what video can I do, and right now, in this U.S. economy, we got strings on us.
Yep.
We got a choke. We got a chokehold on us.
Yep.
And this is a way of getting out of that chokehold. To cutting off those strings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy to be a part of that because I know that Coinbase is going to go down at some point.
It always does. It always does.
They're going to do a Robin Hood, man. They're going to do a Robin Hood.
Yep.
Like during GameStop or during the AMC stuff, man, my money's going up.
JW.
Next man, it done suspended everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's going to happen. It's going. So if you're, well, I'll tell you what, man, this tropical smoothie, man, that'll give me the burps. If you're holding your crypto, right? Lisa Jax, appreciate you. Thank you, girl. I love you. If you're holding your crypto, why would you only want to be on one exchange? And then the exchange goes down. It's like, yeah, you got your crypto, but you can't execute any trades. And then you got to wait for the noise to subside before you're like, okay, I'm ready to do business. Well, by then the opportunity might have been gone. You came to this place because you're like, I want to maximize every at bat that I have. Now, make no mistake about it. Get the Palau e-residency. Don't get the Palau digital e-residency. It makes me no difference. Understand that the things that I talk about on these lives are really just geared to help people on their journey. And if I'm talking about it, it's because I've done my 10 hours of homework and I feel like I'm in a place where I can talk about this and share information with people that's not going to lead them to financial detriment, right? Because that is definitely not the goal.
And there are videos. There are videos on YouTube.
It's so many videos, yeah.
The government speaking and pretty much answering every question
Yep.
that you have about this e-residency. I mean, every question is answered.
Yep.
A lot of people, just want to FUD it and be afraid of it because they don't know anything about it. They refuse to go look it up, So they decide they want to FUD it.
Yeah.
I would do that. You should be afraid, because you're getting another ID,
Right, right. It's like it's human nature. It's like this fear that it's fear that of the thing that we don't know. It's the fear of the unknown. And again, I've seen, and I want y'all to hear me. I've seen what happens in two bull runs. This was not available. Operation Choke Point was not around. You were able to freely move around and conduct your business the way that you saw fit. I want to maximize every at bat that I possibly can. This is,
You already know the fix is there, man.
yeah.
These people, these institutions are going to come in. They're going to somehow create some synthetic crypto shares. I know they're ready to. They're the next bull run. They're ready to play some games, man. So this one counts.
The next bull run I feel like is going to be wicked because in between me and like the 37, 38 people that are in here, between all you, I read things that are like, oh, this market cap, and I take this very, very lightly. So don't take what I'm about to say as a gospel. This is just some things that I'm reading. I'm seeing things that say, excuse me, the market cap's getting ready to go to 15 trillion total. If 15 trillion descends on the crypto space, you're going to have people out here losing their mind. We saw what the market looked like at a $3 trillion market cap. And you want to increase that by a factor of what? 5, 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, by a factor of 5. Again, I want every at bat I can take.
Now, Glenn, I had a question because I heard like the beginning of the live, but
Yep.
I kind of got distracted.
What you mean you got distracted?
Listen.
No, I'm kidding.
Right. I done KYC, right? And I worked for Coinbase.
Yep.
So, I've done that side of things. So my question to you
Mm-hmm.
was something, I was like, I got distracted and then I started thinking about it because I have dual citizenship to another country. And Palau is completely different because of what they're doing. But when you do the citizenship, do you get like a virtual address or something like that?
You can, if you need to, you can. All of the KYC that I've done, I haven't needed it. I have not needed it.
Because a lot of the, like some of the bigger exchanges, they will ask for that proof of residency that you actually live there.
Mm-hmm.
So the government has to provide a letter saying that you do live there.
Yeah. And if it comes down to that, like you said, I think you hit the nail on the head by obtaining a virtual address.
Gotcha. And that's exactly why I was like, wait a minute. Because I was like, do they get an address? Because a lot of the exchanges, I know for a fact we did with Coinbase, you have to provide, like, we have people that were like from Cuba, which is a prohibited country.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to provide that they're residing wherever they said they were, whether they were a student or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And if they couldn't provide something, then the government had to provide something for them to validate that they actually live there.
Luckily for me, like I said, I'm on at least 18 different exchanges right now. And for 18, I have not had to provide address, like anything. Anything.
So just the ID and that's it.
Just you got to, it's you take the ID, front side, back side, actual picture of your face, doing the whole like rotation face thing because they want to make sure, and
all that.
that's been it. Yeah, that's been it.
Yeah, you
So Steven says,
because I have an ID from another country, so I was like, hey,
yeah.
that's definitely a good idea.
That's what I'm saying. If it sounds right to people, I encourage people to go to rns.id, read up on it, take a look. And then again, if you need a little bit more convincing, if you need a more reputable, if I can say that, reputable source to corroborate what I'm saying, contact an immigration attorney and say, hey, this is what I got going on. They might have a little bit of a hang up like crypto because that's not really their forte, but take them for a test drive, take the Pepsi challenge and see what they say. Steve, so I do have a link in my bio, but it is not for this. This does come with a referral link and you can promote it and you can earn points, but I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there.
And something for everyone else to think, like if you have, like let's say your mother is from another country,
Yep.
whatever country that may be,
Mm-hmm.
some countries will give you that dual citizenship.
Exactly.
Just because your mom was born there. And that's how I did it this summer. So like you can go to whatever country your mom is from or your grandparents and
Hmm.
just because they're from there, you automatically get it.
Yep.
Um, you do have to go through that process of like your birth certificate and all that and validating all the documentation. But nonetheless, it's definitely an option. Because you'll be able to start banking in these countries and doing all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's the other benefit, right? Because some people feel that with Operation Choke Point, they're going after a lot of the off ramps. So if you can get into a different territory that has a totally different banking system, but like you said, you can get your foot in the door and get the bank. Well, now you've got two avenues that you can utilize. Now the deal with Palau, that really won't be a factor, and I'm not saying it won't be a factor to the benefit or detriment because they have a lot of the same banking institutions that we have here. But yeah, 100%. I think you're offering a rather unique aspect to what we're talking about here. If you can use that dual citizenship because maybe one of your parents are from somewhere else, and that other territory is willing to allow people to operate in the Web3 space without any hiccups or without any bottleneck, and they have a different banking system altogether, please tap into that or just research that and figure out how can you utilize it. Because I think it's of my opinion only. I don't want to speak for Money Talks Crypto. I don't want to speak for my man Jay here. But I think as time goes on, the more tools you have in your toolbox or the more arrows you have in your quiver, it's only going to serve you better. I don't really see the downside to that. Like when I look at it as an investment, if I can phrase it that way, it only has asymmetric upside. I don't really see the handicap.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's like well, now that we're in this phase and
Our guy, what's happening?
payments is different, it's it's definitely been mind blowing because like now like recently I had to send money from the U.S. into a bank and it was
Hmm.
like literally it was a Caribbean reserve. It was literally within 30 minutes we
Yep.
got the money right away.
Yep.
I think it was less, but the guy didn't check until like 30 minutes later. And it's like boom, and it's the same thing with like crypto and MoneyGram and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Now you can send these payments easily. So if you're there, like it happened to me, I was there, I was traveling, and I was helping somebody out, and I needed more cash. It's just like instant. You
Yeah,
don't have to, you don't have to wait for the money. You can just pick it up instantly. So it's definitely something that if you guys have a mom or a dad that is from a different country, definitely look into it because most likely through them you'll be able to get the dual citizenship.
for sure.
The only thing I have to do.
I knew a guy like that when it was time for the Olympics in 2012. His mom was actually from Grenada, Guatemala. Let me think about it. The name will come to me. And he was a fast dude, right? So we're like, okay, what are we thinking? Team USA? He was like, no, I'm going with my mom's host country. And he was a shoo-in. He made it. He was running against Sean Crawford and through all of those rounds in the Olympics. And it's crazy. And I'm like, yo, like, this is our guy. Like, here he is right here. He's running. It was wild. And because his mom was from a different country. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it comes with a lot of perks for sure.
Yeah. Ken, what's up?
But
South America.
Say
There
again.
was a Guyana.
Yes.
It's one of those G ones. I think it's Guyana.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
I got someone in my school that's from Guyana.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yep. Guyana? No, it wasn't Guyana. Yeah, you probably was Guyana. Yeah. Probably was Guyana. Yeah, so I mean, again, just the ability to have as many arrows in your quiver is going to be so important. I just want the same
yeah,
at
that's
best as the
exactly what I was
institutions
gonna
get the
say.
level
That
playing.
question I'll be getting have a good night, everyone.
I appreciate you. Yeah. Y'all definitely be sure to follow Money Talks Crypto. You know, she covers a lot of unique and in-depth perspectives regarding, BRICS, things that are going on in our banking system, even from a financial aspect, what's going on with the economy, social economics. So yeah, if that interests you, definitely give her a follow. I just want the same at bats the institutions get. Level the playing field as much as possible. Crypto Joe, 100%. And that's one reason why I would never understand why people will let this potentially scare them out of taking the opportunity to at least just read up on it. Now, if you read up on it, you're like, yeah, this isn't for me. Cool. No biggie. At least just read up on it, though. You know what I mean?
About 30, almost 30 days. So if you want to do it, get it in now. Right now, there's no legislation against it.
Right.
That was my big thing. I didn't want to be breaking the law, and I looked into all that, and there's nothing that says you can't do this. So.
Yeah. When I got that, man, I got so many emails from people saying like, oh, you can't do this. This thing. I'm like, where are people getting this information from? Like, are we reading the same stuff? And I'm like, all right, Glenn, you know people don't like to read. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
People are more susceptible to FUD, so you know.
Look at Kim Bit. Is that Calvin's blood brother? That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, you just go to them like, look, big bro, won't you just give me a little loan real quick? I'm gonna need some of that. Listen, man, he be encroaching on my heels, man. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because let me tell you something. When I first got started and I heard about people who were putting money into the markets, I felt the same way. I'm like, okay, here I go. Let me put, I'm going to put, I got the project I'm looking at. I'm going to put 400 into the markets and I'm doing something. And it does. It does, right? It does. But you get to a certain point in your journey, you're like, yeah, I'm going to throw 1,200 in there. I'm going to throw 10 G's in there. I'm going to throw 20 in there. I'm going to throw 50 in there. You get to that point. These things they're not beyond you. That's the point I'm trying to make. They're not beyond you. I was saying that they're not beyond you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you, man. I'll be honest with you. I have, with my NFTs and everything, and I got like, I'm not bragging anything, and I'm feeling the pain of it, but I got
Man.
6 figures. I got 6 figures in.
Baby, when that market comes back, though, whew, whew.
I should have did a little bit smarter. I should have dollar cost average each week, put money in. But I felt like at a point, you got that kind of money, and you just want to just put it in before you just spend it on something else.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
You
yeah.
just get busy with life and doing things and spending and all that. So I said, freak it. I put it in at different points, lump sums at different points.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I did. I wish I had, and I got some more money to put in, but I'm just waiting because I know based on looking at CoinGlass that September is a red month, and I think it's going to be red all month, and then October, I feel like it's going to go up.
I'm gonna share something with you. October historically, I need y'all to hear me. October historically is normally been a little rough for crypto because, well, at least back when the majority of mining was taking place in China, in October you had a lot of miners that would start to sell to be able to pay for a lot of their overhead. So historically, let me see if I can pull this up on a chart here.
About September, this historically, according to CoinGlass, September is a red month, and October tends to be a green month.
Really?
If I looked at it correctly. You look at CoinGlass, the history of BTC.
Yeah, let me look at this. My man Jonathan, true or false, Labor Day gift, Bitcoin under, what did you say, 22? Did he say 22? Jonathan, I lost your number. I think he said 22.7. True or false? Labor Day gift, Bitcoin under 22.7. What are we at now? 25. You'd have to fall off a cliff between now and like lunchtime tomorrow. I'm gonna say false. Would I be mad if we got that? No, I would not be mad at all. Because if I woke up to that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna go to VV and I'm buying a whole lot of stuff. Did I see what? Yeah. We was buying it in the millions. We was buying it in the millions. Yeah. Says 22.7 is my play too for tomorrow. Nah, but check the Gaussian channel on monthly. I'm gonna take a look at that. So I'm gonna bring this over here to my folks on YouTube, give y'all something different to look at. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the monthly. I'm gonna spread this out. Where we at? October. Yeah, so September's been red. October 20. See 21. Yeah, no, I'm looking at it here. It has pumped a little bit. Well, October 21, there was a little bit of a wick. That's cool. Let's see what we did in 22. 22 was like a small doji candle. Let's go back. 18. 18, October was red. October 19, it was a doji. Yeah, so I mean, I give it to you. It's definitely got more greens than reds in October, but it's not like a strong vector candle, right? There's almost like a, hey, we went up, but then we retraced a little bit there. But yeah, according to the data, October has it. May not be bad for October. I just remember sell-offs happening in October. Can I check the weekly? Is there like a correlation between weeklies in October? No, October is 17 it runs. We're at 18. Okay. Yeah, there's been a couple bad weeks in October and 18. Let's check 19. Couple sales in October 19 for the weekly. How we doing 20? It's looking like it's mid-October too. Nope, October and 20 was a runner through all the weeks. That's good to know. So is that like a halving? That's in a halving year. So that would be what, next year? Yep. Let's check 21. And if you guys are on YouTube, you can see this. You can see it on my screen. A little bit of a sale. Yeah, so it looks like if there is going to sell in October, normally happens second, third week, just based on what I'm looking at here. But overall, it's not enough to move the monthly to like a negative sentiment. I mean, same thing in 2022. 2022 is all right. Except in 22, they had to sell off in the beginning of the month, and it really wasn't too strong. How we look at September, though? See, now you got me looking at the historicals, right? September was a seller. Yeah. September 21 was pretty good. I'm sorry, that's not September. Yeah, September 21 was a seller. September of 20 was a seller. September of 19, seller. September of 18, seller. There you have it. Good work, Jay. Y'all just got some alpha from Jay. September historically is muy mal. El boo boo.
I love the Bitcoin to go back to 10. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, listen, I am still not counting 10 out, and I'm not counting 10 out until we flip 42,000. I have said that literally since the beginning of summer, maybe even late winter. I'm not flipping bullish until we crack 42 and build off and start to push up. I'm not sold yet. I'm not.
Man, if it went down that low, man, the institutions would jump on it. It would bounce down there.
I got my buy orders already in.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Man, it would bounce.
Arthur says this is buy time. This is definitely accumulation time, Arthur.
Yeah, it would bounce back up, man.
But Galagash and this FUD waiting to see if we make a new cycle low. Yeah, so I've got Gala over here on a short. Where's my Gala at? It's at that breaking point, man. If it's gonna fall, it's gonna fall. And I know people who had shorts in Gala a little bit earlier, they were kind of panicking because it looked like it wanted to run back up. I'm like, that's definitely a dead cat bounce.
Do you own Gala?
I hold a little bit of Gala. I do. Like I said, I like the project. I was never really a huge fan of the tokenomics. I thought that was something that they could do better. Excuse me, I'm not upset with the price action. Like I said, I got a decent short in, so I'm not too terribly disappointed about it. But I mean, spot, yeah, I hold a little bit of Gala.
Yeah, man, my average buying price for Gala is like at 3 cents. I wish I could get it down to 1 cent.
I'm like, shit, if you buy it here, you're gonna cut it in half.
I got way too much, man. I got like a giant bag.
You trying to buy it here, it's gonna take a little work.
I'm gonna take a lot of it, man. I got like a half a milli kind of thing,
Hey,
I got too much.
were you trying to get the node?
Nah, I mean, maybe I should have bought a node. Maybe I should have, man. But it is what it is.
Stop loss said, let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Stop loss said I got 5 BTC at a 10K limit order set. Let's go. Let's go. Stop loss out here trying to take some scalps. I love it. I love it.
Man, I'm learning so many lessons, man. I'm thinking, we're in a new 4-year cycle, and I'm putting in my money in that. At the beginning, year one, I put my money in, thinking, oh, I'm in a good spot. But sometimes you just gotta slow down because we're in the accumulation period, and prices are getting lower. Man, I bought some of the prices on some of the projects I bought into. I took a dive on some of that stuff, and it's like I'm learning lessons, man. 2027, you're not going to have the same me, man. I'm learning too much.
Right.
Man. Because potentially, if I got, for example, Gala at 1 cent versus 3 cents,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm losing a couple X's,
Yeah.
when it goes up.
Yeah.
And potentially, I just have this feeling, man, that Gala is going to be like. Remember when V-Chain 2021, V-Chain went up at the end. At the end, V-Chain went up to like 27 cents.
Yeah.
It has had a ride up to 27 cents, then it fell back down.
Yep.
And for some reason, I'm feeling that about Gala.
They've got a lot of headwind going in now. I'll say this. For Gala, you guys can see this on YouTube. For Gala right now, it's got a strong, at least on the weekly. This 1.5 cent, 1 and 6/10 of a cent where it's at right now, this is a strong area. On the daily, not so much. You could definitely fall below. On the 4 hour, boy, it's abysmal. It's abysmal. So if people out there, they really like Gala, but they're just trying to find a better price to enter, you might get it. You might see this thing at around like almost 1.5 again.
I mean, I would love for Gala to do like some people think it's going to do a 40, 50x, but I just had that feeling it might get to be a 10 or 20x, man.
It could be. I think it's all going to be dependent upon, and here's what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see Gala go through litigation with the other partners and have two of the partners make out good. Appreciate that, Pastor Jesse. Thank you. How you doing tonight? Hope everything is all right. Crypto Wolf, what's going on, my friend? And I don't want them to run into the situation where two of the partners, they run off with a bag like you saw in Pepe, and then the last guy is left to try to rebuild this thing. And then when he figures he's got it to a point where it's good, then he turns around and sells and dumps it on everybody. That's the same thing that happened with Pepe. Pepe, you had 2 or 3 of the main, I think it was three of the main guys who stole from a multi-signature wallet, stole some Pepe, transferred it to the exchanges, they dumped and they bounced. The last guy said, oh, you know what, I'm going to stick around. We're definitely going to rebuild it. I'm like, but rebuild it how? Are you just going to stick around until you get it to a point where people believe in the project again and then dump? Wouldn't be surprised if that happened. So it's like the more...
ICP did that too.
Exactly. So the
bought himself a yacht and took billions away, and
yeah, of course. Like the more and more these things happen, the more and more I'm like, my inner Bitcoin maximalism comes out to be like, yeah, bro, it's just Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I'm not saying that yet, but when I see stuff like that happening, I definitely hit my exchanges and I'm like, buy some more Bitcoin. Like, buy, for as much as we want DeFi to work and as much as we want these other things to work, it's like they keep eating themselves. And it keeps giving more validity to what the SEC wants to do in terms of probes and controlling all projects in the crypto space. Right, Joe. Gala just sold out their new ETF last week, and now, it was all good just a week ago.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I feel like this bull run, I'm going to have to change my strategy and start to take targeted profit early as possible, to start taking profit.
Yep. I think we talked about it. Like, you've got people who are all looking at the measured moves and they're saying, hey, everybody's like, say if you're looking at Bitcoin, right? Oh, Bitcoin's going to go to 150,000. So I'm going to get out 150,000. You better start trying to get out at 127, 145, 147 to make sure your order gets filled. Because if everybody's looking at 150, it's going to be some people who don't get out at 150. Yeah.
And based on the market cap now, looking at the same market cap for back then, Gala would be at 43 cents, the all-time high.
So you've got to look at the amount of coins that are out, because now you've got more coins that are out. You're getting diluted, which is kind of what I was making mention to earlier. I like what they're trying to do. I'm not a huge fan of the tokenomics, right? So if you got, and this is the number one thing that I also try to get across to like the XRP folks. As time goes on, like Ripple, it's September, the beginning of September, Ripple just unlocked escrow. You're going to have more coins on the market. It's going to take more energy to drive that price up. This is why I might even start looking at coins who have 80 to 90% of the coins already in circulation. Because I don't want to go into buying those coins with that downward pressure. Like I saw that hit ICP over the head time and time and time and time again.
Yeah.
Over and over.
I mean, the thing is, if people want to understand tokenomics, there's a website you can go to. It's called Drops Tab. I believe it's dropstab.com. You can go look at the investing schedule of any coin
Yeah.
and see how much has how much is out in the circulating supply is out there for the public, and how and you can look at the schedule of when certain coins are being released. And I mean, it's just a lot of great information. Too many times, and I like Calvin and everything, but too many times Calvin, he tries to get people in projects. He doesn't explain and that's my boy, but he doesn't explain the tokenomics
Nope.
in terms of
How's that Viat doing?
what you said buyout.
Viat.
Oh, buyout. Oh yeah. Well, I got some. I mean, it is what it.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of buyout.
See, the thing that I hated about that, and I remember, so again, people see these things, they record them. People post like a Calvin fan page, right? And so they post these snippets of the lives. And he said, I had been in Viat since it was 0.008 cents. Well, then why didn't you tell your community about it? Like when I found Covaliant, as soon as I did my homework, I told y'all about it. There were probably some people who got a better allocation than I got because I didn't buy it until after I told people about it. When I found Moonwell and I saw who was getting the Moonwell before it ran up to a penny and came back down, I told y'all about it. Like I didn't have allocations already bought and then bring it to y'all. Huh?
Did that twice. Moonwell did it twice.
Shout out,
Twice.
shout out to everybody that took that trade.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to do it again. I still think it's going to go up to maybe 10, 11 cent, during bull run, or maybe even more. I mean, I hope it's like Glimmer though.
I'm still expecting very, very big things. I think if the DeFi space can get, if the DeFi space gets to a point where they almost police themselves, and they can get out ahead of that and run with it and say, hey, we know there's a lot of troubling issues with DeFi. And so to take some of the worry off the table, we're going to have developers that can do X, Y, and Z. If they can get assurances out and they can be the first one to market with assurances, DeFi and Polkadot's going to it'll go through the damn roof. Just here's a roof. Because that's really the big problem now. People want assurances. Nobody wants to interact, or no one wants to take the risk of possibly interacting with a bad DeFi protocol and losing their shirt. I think but I think this is a place where people should be looking is assurances. If you can get assurances on the table, make developers vest within their schedule, you'll pull some VC money back into the space. That'll be good for the projects, but also at the same time, it'll take a lot of that uncertainty out of projects.
Always on point, man.
I'm trying, man. Hey, listen, I'm just a young brother in the crypto space trying to make it,
Trying to get 4 years in, man. 2 years in the previous, and 6 years. What is it? I started 2021, so I'm trying to get through my first full bull cycle.
Yeah. It'll happen. Traymar says greed will bring us all down. Trey, I agree with you 100%. It absolutely will. It absolutely will. That's okay. I hold XRP. I hold on to XRP. You can. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not saying what I'm saying to try to get anybody to sell their XRP. Like, if you like it, I love it for you. Thoughts on ICP now? Definitely need to check that vesting schedule.
And I'm not trying to flood Gala because I own quite a bit of Gala. And they did mention that they're working, trying to create other projects onto their chain so that they can burn the Gala. So, I mean, and that's kind of bullish in a sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's great. I do own Gala, but I wish I bought it at a penny so I can make a little bit more profit. So that's how I see it.
Thank you, Lisa Jacks. Always happy to have you here. So we try to run on this live just conversations like this. I've learned a lot in 20 minutes. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Lisa. So I love having good folks up here. Gala Games or moving more the world's money? Pack Rat, what do you mean? Like, what would I rather be invested in? Like a coin that moves the world's money or a Gala Games? Like that? Wilder World, Kimber. Oh, Kim, yes. Yes, Wilder World. What's up, Wild Entrepreneurship? Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Wilder World. I really enjoy the hyper realistic metaverse that they're really trying to create. I think that's going to be something for the books. I really do. I really, really do. What are the hot months and bull runs? Almost every month. The hot months and bull months, I feel like they coincide with the season. So in the summer, things get absolutely nutty. In 2019, or was it 2020 to 2021, we had a thing called DeFi summer. There were DeFi protocols popping up left and right. Crazy jet fuel, beefy cow steak, pancake swap, quick swap, almost any kind of DeFi thing you could think of, people were coming out with it. It was absolutely bananas. And it was called DeFi Summer. You had to be there. You couldn't possibly keep up with everything. And just when you figured out you had caught onto one that was a really good one, it hit you in permanent loss. This is one of the reasons why Time Wonderland was so successful, because it came out right in the middle where everyone were looking for brand new DeFi protocols. I think Olympus DAO was another one too, or Olympus was a protocol. Might not be Olympus DAO. It was Olympus something, but definitely Time Wonderland. And it caught at the right moment, and people were dumping crazy amounts of money into this. Crazy amounts. Wayne Crypto, that's what I love about the lives. I learn a lot from different people. Thanks, Glenn. Wayne, you are 100% welcome, family. Again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to be here with me and my man Jane. We appreciate that. Thank you. So, okay, so fun fact of the day, right? Luna, in a world where you could get 800% APY, Luna was like, we'll give you 20%. And everybody was like, oh, that's trash. But Luna had the most staying power before it imploded. Luna was the one that was like, hey, if you make a bag and you stick it in Luna, it actually does what it says it's going to do. And then it fell apart. There were so many people who were like, okay, I need to make this bag, get to this multiple, and then I'm going to take X out and I'm going to put in. I knew someone who put $250,000 into Luna. And for a minute, Buddy was just making like 20 grand a month. Like, life was different for him. It was just, hey man, what are you doing now? Yeah, I'm out in the Maldives. Okay. When are you coming back? I probably won't be back for 3 weeks, but when I do, I'm going to actually go to Beverly Hills and I'm buying a Bentley. Okay. Hey, I just took some money out of Luna. I started a construction company. That man's playing a different game. He's playing a different game. Well, for his sake, because he actually did the smart thing and took some of those gains out and put it into a business in the real world, it kept him afloat. Is he still doing like 20K a month? Probably not, but he's a lot better off than some people who are just like, yo, I'm making 20 G's a month. I'm out in Tahiti. I'm out, just living this Playboy lifestyle, and I'm good. When Luna crashed for them, everything changed overnight. Overnight. Yeah. Kim says, well, at least he was making money. Kim, 100%. To his credit, right? Like, I'm going to take some of this money and I'm going to invest it into a business in the real world. To his credit, yeah. Every single day. Pack Rat, you killing me. Gala Games versus XRP for tokenomics. Y'all really gonna make me do this. Oh my God. I'm really Packard. I'm not gonna hold you up, man. You that boy, that there, that it's wowing. That's a stumper. Gala. Oh my God. Gala or XRP? Oh man. Shit. I'd ask Jay, but I already know what Jay is taking. Jay's taking XRP.
I mean, I got enough money to hold it and see what just happens to it, you know?
Okay. Pack Rat. Let me ask you this one time. That's a callback to anybody who's seen Avengers when Doctor Strange was trying to talk to Drax. Let me ask you this. Are we talking about Gala? Ralphie, stop playing. Are we talking about Gala before the lawsuit news or Gala in its current state? Wayne, no. Wayne, you cannot play both sides of the fence. You gotta pick one. This is a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical. You gotta pick one. Current state? Oh my God. Gala or XRP? Can I high five a bear trap? Can I do that? Is that an option? Can I high five a bear trap? Can I teabag a bear trap? Oh Lord. Y'all don't understand this is a toughie. You can get a bowl of queso or a Gala. It's gonna be expensive queso. Oh man. You can get a bowl of queso or a Gala. It's gonna be expensive queso. Hey, you know what I mean? That's how much is a bowl of queso from Chipotle? Call it like what, $6? Do I think that $6 appreciates more in Gala or XRP over the long term? Are we talking like like a year? It's $8.99. Okay, $8.90. So we talking like the next year or 2 years. We got to get we got to get the time frame down. Because if you're gonna say you got to hold, oh, fuck, this should not be this difficult. 3 years, okay, bro. 1 week. Oh, 1 week. Okay, I'll play. If I had to choose between XRP or Gala over the next week, I'm taking Gala. Oh, I'm taking Gala. I'm taking Gala over the next 3 years. I'm taking Gala. I'm taking Gala. I'm taking Gala. Okay, 10 years. Here we go. 10 years. Everybody, TikTok, YouTube, get your cameras ready. Will Crypto Glenn rather take XRP or Gala over the next decade? Rafi. Bro, they next decade, Gala Games or XRP. Get ready to clip it. Because I'm not gonna do this too many times. Get ready to clip it. Will Crypto Glenn rather take Gala or XRP over the next decade? That's 10 years. Gala. Fam, Gala gonna have Turks and come on, man. We're gonna be in Turks and Caicos from Gala. Hey, this lawsuit is a minor setback for a major comeback. You hear me? Oh, I had to say Gala. Lisa, I had to say Gala. My lives would be breaking news. Crypto Glenn secretly loves XRP. Wait a damn minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. For sure, Pac. For sure. Now, if you was gonna say Tron, I'm not crazy now. I'll take Ripple. People, it's people right now. He said he'd take Ripple over XRP or Tron. Gala's not too bad yet. Like I said, you kind of sitting at a little bit of support right now. If you go below 1.5 cents, they're gonna be playing the music from the Titanic. That's a good one, Tron. Y'all remember that one? Tron. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's between Tron and XRP.
Isn't that Justin Sun's coin?
Yep. Smoothie King, I'm out. Hit me up with another one, Smoothie King. Or Tropical Smoothie. Sorry. Don't take away my sponsorship. Who's the bigger cult? Oh, okay. Okay. Between what? XRP or what? Bland, you feel me? Bland looking at the chart now like, yo, you did below 1.5 cents. It's a wrap. It's Christmas. It's about to get wicked. For Gala? Yeah, you don't want to fall below 1.5 cents. I got to see this coconut tree. Come on. Come on. After you adapt that Palau lifestyle, everything is tropical. I told you, I just had Bahama Breeze for dinner yesterday. That jerk chicken pasta. Let's go. Oh, who's got the bigger coat? It's between. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for me, my bud Glenn. He's lost his mind. Who's got the bigger coat, Tron or XRP? XRP. 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 Bar none, hands down.
Yeah, I agree with you there. A real big call.
Look at Pac. I guess I got to be the first donor then from dropping bomb questions. Facts. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. XRP for sure. I'm convinced Brad Garland House could be like, yo, the sky is pink outside right now. And everybody would go outside and be like, yes, it does kind of have a pinkish tint to it. And it's blue is all get out. I'm going to let y'all know a little secret. I don't even dislike the XRP people like that. Not for real. I think if the majority of people who are in the XRP, when it's hard for crypto as they do XRP, we'd already had mass adoption by now. We'd have had it in like 2020, 2021. Gala is 164 right now on Coinbase. Yo. I can show you this picture right now. It's holding on to a thread. Ralphie, open up the charts. Want your opinion on something. So here's Gala. XRP Army don't beat Bitcoin Maxi. No, what? What? Listen, I'll be the first person to admit Bitcoin Maxis are legit. We're bougie. We are definitely bougie, right? But we speak in terms of facts. My people, some of them. I get invited to a TikTok live or a Twitter space, and I know it's going to be like the majority of XRP people in there. I got to get mentally prepared before I go over there. I can't just like stroll in like if it's a live like this. I got to get mentally prepared. It's not that bad. Come on. Bro, they even make Kool-Aid at this point. Oh wow. It Garland House can be like, yo, the sky is pink. Yeah, it does kind of have a pinkish tint to it. It does. Wayne, tell me I'm lying. That's $1 on Coinbase, isn't it? Yeah. So $1.60. I'm sorry, $1. Whoa, almost 1.5 cents. So 1.6 cents. What's the next target on Gala? We take a look at it. So here we go. So if I show y'all this on Gala, if you're looking at it on YouTube, you can kind of already see it. Right now, you're like sitting at a couple different support zones. I think dare I say, and this is going back to December New Year's Eve 2022. I'm gonna flip my camera around. I'm gonna show you this. You are hanging out. Like, I want you to picture yourself on a tree branch and very, very fat. This is you hanging out right here. If you go below this, I mean, you can go to you're already at the zone. You don't want to fall below this. If you, again, picture yourself on a tree branch and very, very fat in an ice storm and there's wind blowing. If you fall below here, because this again is December 29th, 2022, it's going to be all bad. It's going to be all bad. And that's where you're at right now. Right here. It's saying that, hey, I'm actually going to bounce off this area of support because you've came down, tapped it once, you've came down, tapped it twice. You don't want to make a habit of coming down and keep tapping it. Like, you do that, you're going to fall through it. It's going to be like ice. It's going to be like ice. So, like, prayers up for Gala right now. But, Glenn, you just said you take Gala over XRP. I know what I said. Flipper Hoddle. Pod, what's up? It's Pod, Rafi, what's Pod? I don't think I've heard of that one. Ashton, they gonna come for me. I know it. I'm gonna be the subject of a couple lives tonight. I know it. World class. Everything is everything, man. I'm here with y'all talking about crypto. Everything is fantastic. Ow. I just hit my elbow on my desk. I'll be in the ER tomorrow. I hope it pulls through. Yeah, for real. VRA. What is that? Veracity? Oh, yeah. Rafi, let's do that. Yes, let's do that. Pencil me down. Y'all, my guy Ralphie, Crypto Ralph, you see him there in the chat. Drop him a follow. He's got a podcast. What's your partner's name? I can see his avatar on Twitter. I just can't remember his name. He almost had me going about that BRICS situation last week, and Saudi Arabia just joined BRICS. I was like, they didn't join yet. I was getting hot. But you're supposed to do that whenever you're doing a podcast. You want to try to evoke emotion and response from your audience. Leo, yes. Leo, that's what it is, yeah. Excuse me. Crypto Leo. I don't think it's that Leo, though. Or maybe it is that Leo. Is it Crypto Leo? It's Crypto Leo. Excuse me. It is Crypto Leo, isn't it? Y'all, we are almost at 20K likes, 20,000. Let's go ahead and run that up, though. Yeah, okay, Crypto with Leo. Yeah, I was close. Yeah. What's up, Live and Learn? I would not agree with the pink or pinkish thing. Wayne. Let me ask my man Jay. Jay, am I lying that if Brad Garlinghouse got on Twitter tomorrow and said the sky has a weird pink color to it, would you or would you not have people go outside, look up at the sky, blue, clear as a bell, it's just blue? And would you not have some people be like, yeah, it does have a weirdish pink tint to it?
Yeah, people would turn it into a spiritual thing too. Because XRP has like a part of a group of people that they they turn it into something spiritual, and sometimes I just shake my head and I just shake my head on it, you know. It gets real deep.
It man.
I'm just trying to make money. I don't care about the deepness of it all, and how maybe, you see in the sky a picture of two clouds forming an XRP symbol. People do that. Don't get me wrong.
I saw, bro, I saw, I saw that and I was like, I gotta get. I saw that and I said, I gotta get the hell out of this coin ASAP. I was like, y'all seeing the XRPX in the cloud? Nah, I'm gone. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done.
I'm just trying to make money. I'm in the coin. I'm not crazy deep in, but I'm in enough
Yeah.
to make some money. I just feel like, it's going to do well. There's lots of coins that are going to do well.
Not Gala if it falls below 1.5 cents. If Gala falls below 1.5 cents, like everybody put your head between your knees and kiss your rear and goodbye. Jesus Christ. I think Gala, I think Gala will be fine. Like, I'm not really panicking about it. Not yet. You know it's real if Pastor Jesse says it gets too deep.
It gets too deep. People think that God is like in heaven and he's, looking at the XRP symbol and, feeling warm inside. God don't care nothing about XRP. God don't care nothing about XRP. God don't care nothing about this money.
None of it. None of it.
This fake idea of money, God cares nothing about it.
He gives zero about it.
This is just a part of the human experience,
Mm-hmm.
We're creating value on nothing. We're creating value with nothing. It's just sad. I don't know.
It's crazy.
But some of the people get really spiritual, and they just get like, if you can't see the vision, then you're not a part of the frequency, and I just get kind of like, come on, guys.
So it's a couple things, right? First of all, my man Phil just checked in, and Phil, y'all know Phil just had shoulder surgery a couple weeks ago. He said he and his best friend just played best ball yesterday, shot 7 under with 2 bogeys for 18. Phil out here playing golf, y'all. Like that's first and foremost. So shout out to Phil. If y'all not following Phil, follow Phil. Second of all, that should have been probably first. I'm not like Bitcoin didn't come to me in the middle of a dream. I was watching the movie Dope. One of the lines in the movie had Bitcoin in it. I thought, wow, that sounds super interesting. This is like 2014. Technically, I'm not supposed to be here. It was in 2014. I said, oh, I'm going to check out Bitcoin after this movie goes off. I went upstairs to go head to the office to go look up Bitcoin. I turned around on like the 4th or 5th stair. I turned around. I saw in the kitchen the sink was full of dirty dishes. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do these dishes so the girlfriend doesn't have to do them when she gets home from working. Did the dishes, completely forgot about Bitcoin. It wouldn't be until 2017 before I saw Bitcoin again. So like I didn't have the spiritual awakening when it comes to crypto like most people did. Again, mine came from a movie. Somebody said it sounded cool. I'm like, oh, I want to check this out, right? That was my second introduction to it. I'll tell y'all the first a little bit later. But I have seen videos where some people are like, yo, this crypto thing, it resonates on the frequency. Like, this is my, if that's you, if crypto came to you in a dream, or if like the man above, if he brought it to you, I don't know what you saw. I don't know what you didn't see. I'm not going to try to get you to change what brought you to crypto. But I will say, on an outsider's perspective looking in, it sounds a little, I don't want to say crazy because I feel like that's dismissive, but you're going to get some people that's going to raise some eyebrows at you. And if you're cool with that, like, you cool with that. But if you're not cool with that, just tell people you found it through some other way.
I feel the same way. It's just a vehicle to make money.
That's it. That's it. That is, that's really the crux of it. A lot of people used to, listen, I've been in this space long enough. People used to say, well, I came for the tech. I'm not gonna lie to you. The technology, is it cool? Sure. But if you're looking at me, you're like, Glenn, this is a way for you to gain significant X's on everything you have ever done. That's why I'm here. Because I wasn't old enough for Facebook. I wasn't old enough for Amazon. I wasn't old enough for Netflix.
I was.
You know what, Jay? Not every single one of us have had that opportunity, you know?
Yeah, I was. I should have invested into it, but you learn a lesson.
You learned a
I'm here for
lesson.
crypto. I'm here to just make as much as I can, while I can. And that's how I see it. A lot of people see it as a spiritual awakening to be a part of the XRP. As XRP rises and becomes whatever it's going to become, and that's fine. It's going to probably become something, but I'm just not going to exalt it to the way some of these people exalt these things to be.
Mm-mm.
I'm in it to make some money,
That's
I'm in
it.
it to do well, and if I can get generational wealth out of it, that's cool. That's what I want to do.
So
I don't on a level with like a level of worship. Some of these folks be worshiping
it
stuff.
is yeah.
I'm sure in some of the people's houses they got an altar and they probably talk to the XRP symbol and say, say all these different things that they put their baby on top of the XRP.
No.
The top of the X part of the XRP, they put the baby on it, and then they look in the sky and Big Brad Garley House says something to them, and it determines if they're gonna actually get their child or not. But
Not the XRP prayer closet. Not the XRP prayer closet. Kim, I dreamt I became a millionaire with a mana. I don't own any mana though, and that until 2 weeks ago. I mean, yeah, look.
you said the XRP prayer closet.
Not the XRP prayer closet. Come on now. Wayne says, I only started 6 months ago. I started looking at crypto because of a friend told me about XRP and ISO. And this is like, I got to be very careful about how I go about this because I don't want to alienate anybody. I just want people to understand the value of sharing like real objective information, because if it were me, right, I had a friend tell me about Shiba. This was May of last year. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, hey man, I think Shiba has made its run. I think it's done. He's like, no, Glenn, I'm telling you, man, just buy it. And I'm like, sometimes you just have to appease people. And I put like $20 in. Do you know that $20 is now worth like 8? So you got to be careful with, and I bought it just to prove a point. I look at charts. I know what's going on. It's not hard for me to look at fundamentals and see if there's going to be anything that's going on with fundamentals. And that went down to 8. Then another guy jumps in live a couple months after. And he's like, oh man, sheep. Or it was a sheep. Yeah, sheep. You got to take a look at this, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, bro, ship is done. That bird is cooked. It's not moving. He was like, no, they actually just signed a deal with Gucci. Like, you can buy Gucci with it. I'm like, you cannot buy Gucci with ship. He's like, bro, you can. I'm telling you, look it up. So on the live, just like we're doing here, I went to Google. Can you buy SHIB with Google? And sure enough, Google actually accepted Shiba Inu as payment for like Gucci slides. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, right? But at least then there's a fundamental. So, you kind of buy back in, lower your cost of, entry. Then it pumps through the Shibarium. But I'm like, I've seen this movie before. I'm not going to hold on to this thinking that this is going to be the second coming to SHIB. So I'm going to sell off 90% of the bag, and whatever is left is just going to be a moon bag. Going back to my point, why am I saying this? I'm saying this to Wayne because his friend told him about XRP and the ISO coins. Technically, there is no real such thing as an ISO coin. The ISO standard is just a messaging standard. It's a way to literally to move text from one place to another. This became a narrative because you had all these other cryptocurrencies saying that they would be ISO compliant. And if you really want to do push comes to shove, the only one that could technically be labeled in that category would be XDC. And the only reason why that is when you listen to the old guard and the way that they talk about the ISO narrative, and then you listen to the developers over at XDC and they talk about the ISO narrative, they're actually saying the same thing. So what you have there is called confluence. Confluence is when you have multiple data points or multiple sources of data that are all corroborating and all saying the same thing. So the developers of XDC, they got together and they said, well, if we had an entity that wanted to plug into our ecosystem and use what we've built to move messages on the ISO standard from point A to point B, they could do so. Where everybody else that's essentially ISO compliant, and we're talking about IOTA, I think IOTA, my opinion, do not make a financial decision on this. I think IOTA is done. I think that bird is cooked. I don't think it's got any gas left in the gas tank. Could I be wrong about that? 100%. Do I think I'm wrong about that? No. Again, which is why I'm saying don't take that as financial advice. When I hear people talk about this ISO standard, they're making it seem like there is all these other players that are like, yeah, we're going to use, XRP, or we're going to use XLM, or we're going to use Algorand, and we're going to use XTC for the transaction of value. But none of these legacy players actually make any mention to using any of these cryptos to move value from point A to point B, or even from moving messaging from point A to point B, with the exception of XDC. Now, if there's anybody in there who wants to see it, maybe I can still find it. I'd be happy to show it to you. But when I was doing my 10 hours of homework, XDC was the only one that I found that said, hey, if there's an entity that wants to plug into what we're building and move messaging from one place to another, they can do that with XDC. And so to me, I said, okay, well, if I have to choose one, I'm probably going to choose XDC, because again, at least there's between the old guard and what the new people are building, there's confluence there. And I think personally, if I'm going to make an investment in something, I need two bodies of people to be saying the same exact thing. That makes me, from a fundamental standpoint, see that there's a connection there, and it's like we're not trying to connect dots that might not be there with other cryptocurrencies. I
Let me
assume.
ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
XDC or XLM, how would you rank them in terms of what you would buy? What you would buy.
If
Which one you would?
for transparency, I hold, I've got positions in both. If I was just starting out and I was going based off of the solid fundamentals that I can find, I would probably give a very, very slight edge to, man, y'all ask me these questions and it makes me want to go back and see what's the latest with that coin, right? Because if you're talking about one that's been battle tested, I would say I would give a slight edge to XLM. But if you're talking about one that might have the most potential, I really do like XDC, because I think what they're trying to do in terms of building an intergrade or enterprise grade blockchain, and then being able to take companies and people who are not Web3 native and allow them to plug into their ecosystem and facilitate the needs that they have on the blockchain, I think that's going to be huge. You don't have to know anything about coding. You don't have to know anything about blockchain. You just go over to XDC. Hey, here's my need. Can y'all facilitate? They say yes. And then they go off and they do the business. And to me, that's going to serve a lot of pain points in the market if and when this thing goes to where we think it's going to go. So I think you've got companies that are trying to build that enterprise grade blockchain. Quant is another one. I think these are going to be blockchains that are going to see a lot of success, because they're already looking at what potential pain points are going to be down the future, and they're trying to work on building solutions now. So, but in that aspect, XDC. But if you say you got to go solely off of what's already been done, I give a slight edge to XLM. And it kind of pains me to say that, but I got to go off of what has already been done, not necessarily what could be, because the road to hell was paved with good intentions. And I'm sure some of you can understand the connection there and why I chose that reference. Like, you can want to do all these things underneath the sun, but again, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. And just because you want to do something doesn't always mean that that's the ways that it's going to go. And so in that regard, I think XLM has been battle tested a little bit more, but I hold both. Say again.
So XRP gets the bronze medal.
Oh, shit. Listen, I'll be honest with you. XRP, I got you in here, Money Talks. Oh, you must have got a phone call. XRP would get a higher nod if
Participation medal.
I wouldn't even give them a participation medal. Like, again, I would legitimately give a nod to XRP if, one, we did not have the conflicting information. And I'm going to say this because this is super important, and it's my live, and well, I pay the bills here. I would give XRP a solid nod if we did not have conflicting information from Ripple execs that say you don't need XRP to be on or utilize the XRPL. Because you let some people tell it the XRPL, like that's the holy grail. That is the crown jewel in Ripple's crown. It's the XRPL. So if you're telling us you don't need to utilize XRP in order to run the XRPL, it's like, okay, well then what would be the caveat or the catalyst to make me want to use or put me in a situation where I would need to use it? Secondly, there's no entities out there that say specifically we are going to utilize XRP. A lot of them say, yeah, we're going to utilize Ripple and Ripple technology for, say, like our CBDCs or for like our banking needs. Asterisk, a lot of those are smaller tier banks in the South Pacific or South Asia region, but they're not really like the big conglomerate banks. And I think of like who's moving more money. Is it the big conglomerates or is it like the little guys in the South Asia or South Pacific Sea? It's the big conglomerates, right? So I think the big conglomerates, they're probably going to have their own set of tools that they use to do very Ripple-like things. Tessat comes to mind when I think about that. There's another one. Oh, God, Sleeps Now. We're actually just researching it the other night. I'm pretty sure if I check my browser history, I can find it. Maybe. But Tessat definitely comes to mind. But there's no entities that are saying, yo, like, guys, listen, specifically, we are using XRP. And I'm old enough, I've been in this space long enough to remember when people were like, yo, the IMF, they're going to use XRP, and not make mention of XRP to highlight a product or service that they offer, but them actually say like, yo, this is our chosen one, and this is the one that we're going to do. If you woke up tomorrow and you had all these people that were like, we're going to utilize XRP and we're going to utilize it in a major way, I'm telling y'all right now, I would buy XRP. But the fact that that information does not exist, I can't in good conscience buy it because I think this could be a possibility. You know what I mean? Again, going back to what I said about XDC, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. XDC says that, you know, if they want to tap in, we could help facilitate them with that. But I gave the slight edge to XLM because XLM has been around. They've been battle tested. They've got a little bit more proven ability, if I can call it that, than XDC does. But again, I do hold a bag. Well, Glenn, why would you hold a bag if you say you can't go based off of what the possibility would be? Well, the reason why I hold XDC is, one, because it's so infinitesimally cheap. My downside risk is actually it's not that great, right? You buy XRP now, it's not like it's half a cent like it was a handful of years ago. You've got more downside exposure if things don't go according to plan, or if, you know, buyer exhaustion just wears out because a lawsuit's taking too long or whatever the case is. So to that degree, sure, there's a little bit of inherent price biasness there. And I'm transparent enough where I can admit that to people. But as an investor, I'm looking for the most amount of asymmetric upside opportunity with the least amount of downside exposure. That's the difference between XRP and XDC, and buying something based off what it could be versus based off of something of what it is. So it's not my intent to contradict myself, but it's a little bit of what's the risk and can the risk be mitigated?
Good answer.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, like you said, I like XDC. I mean, I own a little bit of that, and I need more of it. You know, I'm hoping it goes down. I'm hoping it goes back down. But it seems to. Can you look at XDC's chart?
Yeah, I'll look at XDC real quick. XDC, where you at? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, even when XDC ran up to, I think it was like 9 cents or whatever, I was like, oh, this is good. I should probably start selling some of this, because again, you just know how these things are going to work, right? It starts to pump, it starts to go crazy. It goes to 9, almost 10 cents. Did it go to 10 cents? Nope, almost, 9.5 cents, and then it, comes back down. I'm good with getting out. We made a little bit of a profit on that, and then I said, hey, when it goes back down to like 5.5 or 4 cents, I'll buy back in.
like he said, it's all a messaging system, and they have to be ISO compliant just
Mm-hmm.
to get that ISO code. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it's not just those five coins. There's a whole bunch of coins that are ISO compliant, but the majority of the crypto community just focus on those five. If you guys pay attention to Bloomberg, and I've been reiterating this over and over again, Bitcoin is an ISO code.
Yeah.
Ethereum is an ISO code.
Mm-hmm.
Litecoin is an ISO code. Clearly, XRP, the Binance token. And what they're doing is, for crypto, they're starting with an X. And that's how they can tell that it's a crypto. And that's their ISO code. So, it's not just those five. There's a long, long list. And the other thing with that is that just how Bitcoin is XBT is the same thing for fiat. US dollar is USD as
Mm-hmm.
their ISO code. So in order for them to be, in order for them to know which token is being sent, that's why they're getting those ISO codes. And a lot of them have to be compliant by 2025. I believe it's November 2025 that they're gonna have all of them that they have to have in order to be part of the ISO system.
Mm-hmm.
However, it doesn't mean that there's only five. There's a long, long list, and people need to break away from those five because you're gonna miss out on the ones that are actually an ISO token that are being hedged against the US dollar. Because what the institutions are focusing on are the ones that are hedged against the US dollar.
Right. Yeah, and money, I'm glad you brought that up, right? So why would you need a hedge against the dollar? You would need a hedge against the dollar because you would really need to look at a money debasement hedge. And what I mean by like, and you know, for all we talked about this hedge, there was this theory that Bitcoin would be a hedge against inflation. And most people say, well, it's not really a hedge against inflation. There's two variables that come into fact when we talk about that argument. The first of which is, when did you buy it? And the second is, where are you located? Because if you're in, say, like Argentina, it's up three, was it like three or
30 times.
okay, so it's 30 times, right? Because their money just, it keeps getting printed into oblivion, right? Like hyperinflate, like that is a real location where you can say, and I know we want to say hyperinflation here because it's like this trendy buzzword. You have not hit hyperinflation here yet. If ever you're going to hit it. So if any ever at all, right? You haven't really gotten there yet. But there are very real territories, Chile, Brazil, Argentina, where, like you said, it's up 30 times. In some places, it's probably up 300 times. If I actually put pen to paper, I might be able to find one, right? Here, when you're buying Bitcoin, it's really a monetary debasement hedge because, you know, the world systems are never really going to pay off the debt. And it's not just America that's printing money. It's the world, right? So let's be clear about that. It's the world. Oh, well, what about BRICS? You think China's not printing money? You think Russia's not printing money? You think Brazil isn't printing money? How do you think Brazil got into the situation that it's in? By printing money. So they're probably never going to pay off the debt. They're going to continue to just make the money printer go burr. And so what you're looking for is a monetary debasement hedge. So as that monetary or that money gets debased or devalued, your assets start to go up in price. Bitcoin has shown that it is a premier monetary debasement hedge. And so you know that in 2024, if they decide to stop raising rates, or even if they start to cut rates, you're probably going to start to see that printer go burr again. Your money needs to be in something where as money gets printed into oblivion, it starts to go up. Do I think gold could be a monetary debasement hedge? Sure. Again, depends on where you get in. The market cap of gold right now is so large, it's going to take a lot of energy in order for you to really start to see that value grow. So from an investor standpoint, you need to be asking yourself, where do I get the best ROI? This is the important part. Where do I get the best ROI from a proven monetary debasement asset? Because oftentimes we'll talk about ROI, but people will say, well, I'll just go with a smaller cap coin. You can, but you're also running the risk of thinking that that coin is going to survive multiple cycles. I remember when I got in, there was Fedora coin, Idea coin. There was a Hex before the Hex coin that the majority of you know. There was a Devore coin, and all of these were smaller cap coins than Bitcoin. But guess what? They ain't here today. So it's like, can you invest in a smaller cap coin? Sure, absolutely. Historically, have smaller caps traditionally outperformed the larger caps? It depends, but you're also, you're counting on two different things. One, you can time the top and get out before they rug pull you. Two, you're counting on it being there multiple cycles, and oftentimes that's not the case. Substratum was here in 2017. It's nowhere to be found now. Funfair was here in 2017. Casino gaming token. It's nowhere to be found now. So you can't start to go into this and thinking that just because it's more expensive, it's bad. Essentially, what you're telling yourself is, I have inherent price biasness, and I can't even be transparent with my own self to admit that I have price biasness. Therefore, I want to move into a smaller cap coin. It might work out for some. It's not going to work out for the vast majority. And so that's why when I said earlier in the stream, when we first got started, there's something to be said for having your foundation built on solid platform. Those are the Bitcoins, in my opinion. Those are the Ethereums, in my opinion, and, a handful of others. But a lot of times we see people who would discount those because they look at the market cap and they're like, oh, well, they're already going to run. I'm going to put my money into a smaller cap coin. You're probably gambling. And there's a strong possibility that it might not be there when you are ready to exit, or that others get out before you. I'm not telling you what to do, because at the end of the day, it's your money. You're going to do what you want to do. I'm simply just trying to give you a little bit of the psychology from an investor standpoint of what it means to build a strong portfolio, one that's going to be able to withstand certain kind of pressures of the market. And if you know you're going into an environment where the likelihood of them printing more money is going to be high, I think a current or a monetary debasement asset is somewhere that you want to be. And when you look at that, it's hard to refute Bitcoin. It really is.
I agree with that. And not even me, yeah, Bitcoin, but like one of the ones that I had never paid attention to up until now because I'm in the mining side of things is Litecoin.
Litecoin, yeah.
Litecoin, like people don't realize it, but Litecoin is used a lot. And when the Lightning Network is down, people freak out because a lot of people are using it to make Bitcoin payments, clearly. And that's another one that a lot of people don't realize is hedged against the US dollar. And right now it's looking pretty good compared to the all-time highs. Clearly, if it goes under 50, maybe 40-ish, it'll be a better price. But yeah, definitely start paying attention to the projects that are going to be here in the long run and have institutional backing. Institutional backing is very,
Oh my God.
important.
Yeah.
Like, spend less time listening to all the meme street
Yep.
and pay attention to Bloomberg.
Yep.
Listen, Bloomberg will give you the gems
Mm-hmm.
in this space for sure.
They'll give you the game. You just got to listen.
The ones that are getting hedged, they're telling you which ones got backing. Even DeFi, institutions are backing DeFi.
Mm-hmm.
Bloomberg has a whole bunch of crypto indexes, and a lot of people don't even know about it.
Can you pull some of those up, because we've got a sneaky suspicion here about Polygon. There was a lot of institutional money moving into Polygon, and we're essentially just trying to see, that money flow. Obviously, we've taken a look at the USDC chart. We could take a look at that now, just to see like how the money coming into the market looks. We've lost 55 million, so it looks like they're pulling money out of the market, but there is definitely institutional interest in, say, like Polkadot. If I said Polygon, I meant Polkadot.
Let me see. I think that is one of them. Give me 1 second.
I won't be surprised if it is. I won't be surprised if it is. We were talking about that like a number of months ago. Like the
I know
dot.
I was selling Crypto Rican Queen. Uniswap, they going in hard. Uniswap for sure.
Yo, Uniswap might come out swinging at the end of this. Did you see what the judge, who is actually, I think, presiding over the Coinbase case, said about Uniswap?
Listen, to be honest, I haven't even paid attention to the news.
It's cool. She was basically saying like those smart contracts, like they ran as they were instructed to. And so she was just basically saying like, hey, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of foul play here, if any at all. And I too am of the mindset that ETH is an actual commodity. And I know it's going to like rub some people the wrong way. Like, your beef isn't with me. Your beef is with the judge that said it. You know what I mean? So if you talk about going back to take a look at the projects that are being backed institutionally, you might want to start looking at that.
Bitcoin have definitely been already ruled a commodity. Like, there's
Yeah.
no question about it. This whole back and forth is just nonsense. And yes, Polkadot does have institutional backing.
Jay,
The other one that's gonna surprise people, and I have been telling people about it for a while, is Solana. institutions are backing it up for sure.
Well, we knew there was a lot of VC money in Solana, when it came out. And even, after all its shortcomings, the RPC failing a number of times, you still have VCs that had to get their money out, which is, again, another reason for you guys to check out the website that Woke had mentioned here a moment ago in order to check out I was going to say liquidity dates, but that's not it. The unlock dates, if you will. Because Solana, again, it was another coin that had a lot of VC money into it. I always said, like, if Solana was Ethereum, people would have stopped using it, like, ages ago. Like, that's how I know Solana still has a lot of VC money backing it, because you can't have a blockchain go down for, like, 9 days or 9 minutes, 9 hours. Like, it's just not going to cut it. So, clearly, they still have people that are, like, pushing it, right? So, it'll be interesting to see where that one goes.
I think it's Solana. I was at a meetup in Canada. I think it's Solana that they're actually giving funds out to people. They like let's say Crypto Weekend wanted to apply for a fund, we can go
Yeah.
ahead and apply for a fund. They're just like backing up anyone in the space
Mm-hmm.
that is trying to do something in crypto. So like that's another thing. Like the people that are in the space that are really taking it seriously and trying to make a business out of it. There's a lot of projects that are backing up just regular day people that are trying to start something in crypto.
Yeah.
So listen, you guys, I'm telling you, start paying attention to the institutions, and you're gonna see where the money's flowing for sure.
We'll do another deep dive on there. I know we've done those probably like a couple times where we like go through and actually show people how to find what institutions are investing in. That's one of the way, man, we did that 8-hour live on quant. And I was like, oh crap, I need some more quant. I don't have any. And at the end of that one, like that was a very, very fruitful live. But yeah, I think that's definitely a good research that people need to know. Do I like DOT? I like projects inside the DOT ecosystem, right? And I think there's a few hidden gems that are in there. That again, if DeFi, if it comes back and it comes back to its old relevance, people, they're going to say, hey, we've looked at Ethereum. We've looked at Ethereum's DeFi. We've been there. We've done that. We'll probably still play in that, but we want to look at a market that hasn't been tapped quite as much as Ethereum. And so they're going to start looking at DOT. And there's a few projects that are in DOT that are really prime, in my opinion, that are just waiting, right? And we've talked about those at length a number of times, to the point where, Jay, what would you say? Like we shared that at, when did I give that to y'all? At like 0.004 cents?
Yeah, you talking about
Moonwell, yeah. So 0.004 cents, and then it ran up to like a penny and some change, came back down to right around the same supply levels, 0.004, then did it again, ran again. And so could have made money twice over for sure. So yeah, Moonwell is definitely one that I'm definitely paying attention to. Just because, like Jay was saying, hey, if this ends up being like the Glimmer, there's going to be a lot of traffic that's flowing through that. There's going to be a lot of eyes that are paying attention to that. So, read up on it, definitely see if it makes sense for you in your portfolio. And if you like, take an allocation.
Yeah, and what no one talks about, sometimes coins that haven't had a bull run before, they tend to fly. And they tend to go up exorbitant amounts of money,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, some of these coins are not going to go back to the all-time high. They're going to retrace, but they're not going to go to the all-time high. And I think, if I'm correct, it's like 70% of the coins don't go back to their all-time high.
It's a lot. Yeah,
I mean, people just think that, we're getting in this crypto space and everything is going to go to its all-time high. You have to sometimes find those coins that are going to, from what I was told, coins that are in the top 500 or just outside the top 500. Those coins, you have to pretty much find those hidden gems.
Yep.
And for me, Moonwell fits that for me.
Yep.
That's just one of them that fits.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't had a bull run.
I found Moonwell and I was like, I gotta take this to y'all. Like I saw Moonwell, I was like, they gotta know about this. Like if I'm wrong about it, like the devil will come out in the details when I'm doing my research, but just after just looking at it for so long, I'm like, yeah, this could be one of those ones.
Exactly. You have to find some hidden gems. Sometimes might 100x, 50x, 1000x. You start a, so I mean, what I normally do, I just look through the list of coins and try to find anything that interests me and see if I can find research on it
Mm-hmm.
and look at the market cap, and I look at a number of different things and try to find some hidden gems,
Yeah.
something that it could help my portfolio tremendously. I mean, that's how I see it at least. I mean, all these coins that we have, and I have the H bars of the world and the V chains and all those. I have all those, but I mean, a lot of people think all that stuff's going to go to the moon,
Mm-hmm.
and it may not. It may, you may make a 10x out of it.
Right. Right.
You may make a 5x. I mean, that's better than nothing, but like XRP, I mean, it may do a 10x from this spot.
Which will put you at like
Might be okay.
$5, and that's it's not bad. Like you're still getting more money, more return than you would just leaving your money in a bank. More money than you would just leaving it in the markets, the traditional markets. No stop loss, no stop losses. No, please exercise caution when you're trading, because I don't use stop losses. That's not something for everybody to do. No stop losses. Who's with me? Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Hey, Glenn, you be sleeping next to the computer at night.
No, not
You in
even.
bed with the money.
Not
You in bed
even.
with your wife. You got a California king, and right next to you, you're looking at your computer as you're sleeping.
Not dude, not even. I walk away, like I'll be like, boom, this is the trade. Let's go. 10x, 20x, 50x leverage, and I go to the bedroom and I sleep and I wake up and I'm like, yo, where are we at? Have we hit price targets yet?
Yeah, you're braver than me.
Hey,
I
listen.
mean, I put stop losses.
I'm gonna tell you why I don't. There was a trade I did live on here. I think I was trading with Brian, and we were in a trade, and the first one I went into, I'm like, okay, cool. I think it was a short. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna set this stop loss, and it got stopped out almost immediately. And I'm like, I know they're hunting the stop loss because sometimes I hunt stop losses. I am the stop loss. So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm going back in, and this time I'm not putting the stop loss in there. I'm like, they can't hunt the stop loss if there's no stop loss. But how do you mitigate your downside risk? Maybe you don't push into it with it as big of as an allocation in case it does go wrong on you. Right? So in your mind, I'm like, okay, I have a certain amount that I'm willing to lose on this trade. And if it does, I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to go back, replay the chart, figure out where I went wrong, and go back in. $10 will make you hundreds if you buy at the bottom. Yeah, 100%. You got to be in the right one, though. But after that happened, I was like, I literally just told live, this is why I do not trade with a stop loss, because they will stop you out. Unless you put it in like the most awkward place where you're like, there's no way price can go down here or up here, depending on how you're trading. Do I day trade cryptos? If so, may I ask what trading platform do I use? Yeah, so I'll do a little bit of day trading, a little bit. If the market's like extremely volatile, yeah, I'm in that thing. And as far as like which one, just like the usual suspects. You got your Krakens, you got your wow, I'm drawing a blank. KuCoins, you got your Binances, you got some people like Mexi. I've experimented with Mexi, it's not terrible. OKX, right? It just depends on what you like. Tomos of these to the drops.
For the projects that are in your portfolio, or your bags packed?
Some are, and some like I look and I'm like, oh, I got to go to the mall and get another suitcase. You know what I mean? Like I look at Omi and I'm like, if Omi takes off, like we gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
I wish I had got more of that, man.
You just got to keep it on it. And sometimes, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jay. Sometimes I buy it and I'm like, man, this is not the place that I really want to buy it. But I'm just like, who cares? if your projections come to pass, it's not going to matter if you bought it here. It's not going to matter if you bought it here because you didn't buy it all the way up here.
I mean, people are becoming bullish on it simply because they're starting to be able to stake their money onto the actual platform.
Yep.
People are becoming bullish on that because they're developing a metaverse right now.
Yep.
And I just feel like they're selling out, not every drop, but lots of drops.
Yeah.
People aren't even recognizing who Ecomi is. They're like, who's Ecomi?
Omi token.
What is this?
You just post in the chat
Exactly.
on my token.
Yeah, and people are just they're not recognizing who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at metaverse coins, they're not even on the list. That's how secret they are. They only got like 2 to 3 exchanges.
I would say this though, but isn't that your reward? Isn't that my reward? Isn't that the reward of everyone who is rocking with Omi before they had a lot of this stuff? Again, I was on Omi early enough where you could have, I'm trying to think which one of the more prestigious drops. A Frank Rosario Batman drop in a day. Leave, go to lunch, go to work, come back, spend time with the family, go to sleep, wake up the next day, do it all over again that day, go to sleep again, wake up the day after that, come back to Vivi and still be able to buy a Rosario Batman on the app. I was on Vivi old enough to where you could go,
I was on it then.
bro, it's,
how much is one of those right now?
oh, if I could get on, I'd take a look. I can't. I need another.
I know some people that were able during that time. They kept buying them and buying them. I think they're for thousands of dollars. I mean, 10,000. I mean, they're a lot of money. I mean, people want to make fun of NFTs and stuff, but people don't know anything about VV and
Not a whole lot, man.
what they're trying to do. They're building in the background.
Have you seen how much that Spider-Man, the first edition, not like, hey, this is Spider-Man's first comic, but when Spider-Man made his first appearance, have you seen how much that comic book was going for in the bull run?
I probably did. At the point it was going for a crazy amount.
I think it was like tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it was. A lot of the, even Marvel comic #1 was going for crazy amounts of money. The
Yep.
Secret Rare was.
Yep.
But lots of people, they're not realizing what Ecomi is trying to do. Right now, they're trying to onboard the Asian market, and when they onboard the Asian market, and Korea, and when they start to get involved, I already know I have about 20,000 worth of NFTs, man. I know that's gonna 20x.
That's easy. That is sometimes we always talk about like being too late to the opportunity and the detriment that can pose. Rarely, if ever, do we talk about what happens when you're too early. I was early to VV. The thought of you logging onto the app, first of all, the thought of the app crashing never crossed my mind, because you could get on the app, you could buy a lot of the high profile stuff days and days and days after it came out. So you're not thinking about this. You're just like, oh, whatever.
Some people just kept buying a stack, and they just kept stacking.
And
they call it the Rizzo Batman.
right.
Stacking it.
And Jay, this is what I'm saying to you. But because we didn't have that sellout culture, as soon as a drop comes out, it sells out. I wasn't thinking I should probably sit on a bunch of these. I didn't get that mindset until Ultraman came out. And then reading that they couldn't get it in the Asian market, and I had 10, 15 Edus, 37s, right? And then I forget what they called the commons, like the regular Ultraman. I had to sell them on eBay, take the money off eBay, and then transfer them the NFT on Vivi once they pay, because Vivi didn't have the mechanism where you could do the in-app trading. That's how like early it was.
But that was kind of innovative though, right there though.
Yeah.
That was innovative.
Well, I was like, I don't want to leave the money on the app. Like, I want the money, one, because I want to, like, if it was just all the dirty gems, the dirty gems.
Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. I bought some of those dirty gems. I bought some of those gems. I don't even know if they were dirty. I won't say they were dirty. I'll take that back. But people could get their money off the app. So I'll take that back. I didn't buy any dirty gems.
Yeah.
But I did buy some gems where people were selling them dirt cheap. I bought them. I said,
What was that like? You give me 100, I'll give you like 150 or 200 gems.
Well, but some people were like down and out, man. They give it to you way cheaper than that.
Right. Right.
Way cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, but people just aren't ranking. People don't know anything about Ecomi. And Ecomi, the thing is, man,
Not food stamps. Not food stamps.
those things. But people don't know anything about Ecomi. And they got Marvel. They got
Yeah.
Disney. They have every major IP.
You can think of.
Every major IP they have. And they're working on a metaverse.
Yep.
And I mean, a lot of people think in the bull run that they're going to get to at least 20 cent from 20 cent. That's
That,
really
bro,
not bad.
that's. They get to 20 cents. Y'all gonna come on. Hey, where's Crypto Glenn? I had to delete the app, man. I had to delete the app.
Because look, we seen that price action.
We'll talk about
It went
base.
from it went from 0.0030 zeros and a 5.
Yep.
And then it jumped up. I mean, it jumped up. Imagine they only have about 3 exchanges.
That's it. They're not even on Binance, bro. They're not even on Binance.
Exactly.
They're not even on Binance.
Wait till they get on Coinbase. It's over. It's over.
It's gonna be curtains,
It's
man.
over. Look, I'll be trying to tell people in different lives. I'll put Comey on there and different things like that, and people just ignore it, like whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Wait till one day they're gonna have Pokemon on there.
Omi, OMI.
They keep alluding to it. They're gonna have anime. They're gonna have anime on there. A whole bunch of different things they're gonna have. That they're saving.
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much have a vault full of different. They have
Money
a vault
Talks, yeah.
full of
OMI is the
different-
ticker. Yep, OMI.
Yeah, that's the ticker.
You remember how tricky it used to be to get Omi? You had to get it off like Hit BTC or some crazy exchange like that, and then
Oh, yeah, well, you gotta go on BitForex. You gotta transfer some Stellar over there, and then
yeah,
it's kind of some advanced. It's not advanced, but it's kind of advanced for people.
mm-hmm.
It's just something I enjoy doing it because one day I know this, man. I just know this. One day they're gonna announce they're not making any more comic books. One day,
Yeah.
they're gonna announce that. I just believe that the way this world is heading, they're gonna say something about carbon credits.
Yep.
We're gonna start having to reduce our footprint in the world. We're not gonna allow for anyone to have comic books anymore in terms of making the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like VV is gonna be there, and it's like it'll be like having a Babe Ruth card, man.
Dude.
I remember growing up, if you had a Babe Ruth card, a Mickey Mantle card, you was the man.
You was a man. I have a different, so I've got like the VV app that like you got. Oh, that's Crypto Glenn's profile. Then I got another VV that I had to KYC on. I have 17 first appearance Spider-Man comics, just waiting. When they took that dip and everybody was like, "Oh, it's done, NFTs, it's a wrap." I was like, "Okay, I've seen this movie before. I know exactly how this ends."
Exactly.
I'm like, "Oh, you want to get rid of that for that? Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'll go ahead and buy it off you. I'll take that. I have no problem being patient with this at all. Oh, it's
very,
huge.
very active.
The Omi homies is
People
huge.
realize it could be as it could be as I won't say crazy as the XRP community, but it's there.
It's there. It's not like I said, the XRP community, they go hard, right? What I've seen from the Omi homies is people, they can be very critical of their own project, which is good because listen, if you we're the ones that buy these tokens, and if they feel like if they do something they won't get any flack for it, they're going to try to do as much stuff as they can. But if they know like, hey, if we do something and our community doesn't like it, they're going to hold us to task and they're going to hold us accountable. You're going to ultimately get a better product for the consumer, and I think that's really what we should be pushing towards. So
That's what David Yu does. That's what David Yu, the CEO, that's what he does. If he hears something that people don't like, he goes and changes it.
mm-hmm. Yep.
They announced that they're gonna have Wolverine, the first appearance of Wolverine on there.
I
I
need
don't know if it's
that.
coming,
I
but
need that.
I hope it's a statue though. I hope it's a statue.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, Pack Rat, they're called the Omi homies. So if you go on Twitter and someone's got the little red O, it's like a black center, but it's a red O in any of their like handle, because you can add it to your handle without actually being your handle. So it's like a picture, if you will. If you see somebody with that, they're an Omi homie. I've been trying to figure out how to add it to mine. I haven't quite figured it out.
Stop loss has right there. What stop loss has right there. That they have that symbol right there.
Yes, 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 yes. That right there. Wait, stop loss. How the bleep did you do that?
I don't know how he did it either.
It's a normal emoji, red circle. You're effing lying. What? I've never seen that. Depends on the market cap, sure. I mean, but like I said, I've got no problem being patient. None. Especially if they get this burn rate kicked up. Oh, now you're just showing off. Now you're now, now you're just showing off stop loss. A red circle emoji.
That's one of my long-term bags, though.
Yeah.
The Comey that's my long-term bag.
Wants to know what's up with AMP.
I'm cool with just holding and waiting. I'm cool with holding and waiting.
Yeah, as long as they don't botch it. Let's check out AMP. So AMP, in terms of its fundamentals, I don't really know a whole lot to offer respective commentary. But if you want to know what's going on with the chart, we can definitely take a look at that. Oh, 0.00185. My lord. I can tell you right now on the chart, AMP is definitely below the point of control. What happened? You guys had a pretty decent sell-off at 0.002 cents. What was the news that happened that triggered that? This is dope, man. If you guys are looking at the stream on YouTube, you're kind of getting a first-hand idea of how I do like a lot of the TA stuff, which sometimes can be hard to explain. You just kind of have to see it. So if you're on YouTube, you're actually getting a view of that right now. So what I'm going through right now is I'm actually just trying to identify support. And so, Woke, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, man. Just for the prices for a lot of this different stuff, a lot of them is really at the bottom, or at least cycle lows. So if we go back here, we're going all the way back to the summer of this year where you kind of wick down. This is on the weekly. Let me take a look and see what this looks like on the daily. Kind of the same situation. There's just not a whole lot of information on amped. But I only go back as far as to 23. I might need to try to see if I can pull this up on another chart. But based on what I have here, I can tell you this right now. This is not an area of support that you want to lose. Because if you do, you're just in a free fall. There's going to be nothing to stop you, essentially, to zero. Yeah, I mean, like, this is it, right? Let me do this. I mean, potentially if you did fall and you went into a little bit of price discovery to the downside, you're looking at 0.0013. Right, that would probably be the first area and a very, very rough estimate of like where folks might try to stop that free fall from happening. I think you're kind of just ranging right now. I think if you do find yourself in a position where you can break out of this range, you might find yourself going back to like the 0.002 cent range, but you need bodies. And right now you have no bids that are coming in. The volume's really tapering off here. There's no money coming into this coin. So this is going to be one that you really, really need to watch over the next couple of days. I'd say, the next 3 days to a week. But you're not really getting a whole lot of supply in here. And you don't want to lose this line of support that you're at right now. It just wouldn't be good. Pamp it, sell off due to no staking. Or did they cut staking for AMP? I used to buy AMP by the hundreds. That's funny you say that because like I've got a theory. If I can get it by the tens of thousands, I'm going to buy it by the tens of thousands. If I can get it by the hundreds of thousands, I'm going to buy it by the hundreds of thousands. So on and so forth. We were talking about it a while ago, so that's definitely how I like to buy OMI. Buy by the millions. Packrat, you got all the Firestorm comics. Is that on Vivi or is that like you actually hold those in real life? Are y'all saying Nakomi? No. Omi. Ecomi. Ecomi. I thought XRP had a partnership with Bank of America. Yeah, Ripple had a partnership with Bank of America. So the CEO of Bank of America, and I know this is like an older comment, but I definitely want to address it. So the CEO of Bank of America, Brian, I forget his last name, he came out at, was it Davos a couple years ago? And he said, we've basically been told by the regulators, like, we know, you guys can't touch it, so don't ask. You can trade it, you can do research on it, but you cannot use it from a commercial standpoint. So what I think is funny is that now that this lawsuit is quote unquote over, depending on who you ask, they've been greenlit. It's quote unquote not a security, but there is still no noise that's being made about it. So if I was holding XRP, I'd be asking like, hey, like what's the big deal? But as far as like the Bank of America situation went, yeah, they had a partnership with Ripple. They were supposed to be utilizing their technology. They never sold it was XRP. When they were asked about XRP, when the CEO was asked, he said, we can research it, we can trade it, but we can't use it for a commercial application. And that's just kind of where they were at as of 2 years ago, or at least a year and a half ago. So I hope that answers your question. AMP. Is Ecomi a coin or many ETFs as a collectible? No, it's a coin. It's a coin that coincides with the Vivi app. So the way it works is users will use their gems to buy NFTs and digital collectibles. And for every gem that gets used, one Ecomi is supposed to be burned. XLM or XTC hit $1 next bull run? XLM. Maybe. Yeah, for sure, man. No problem. I do wish they would turn up that burn function on Ecomi, though. I will say that. Pull Caspa up. Caspa. I heard a lot of good things about Caspa. You got any Caspa? I used to get those two mixed up all the time.
I mean, I want some Caspa. I think it's going to run probably, I think it may do a 10 or a 20x. I mean, potentially. I mean, at least. Because it's one of those coins that
Oh my God, it's been on a monstrous run this year. Crazy.
Yeah. I just have too many coins, man, and you can't choose all the winners in the end. You know,
You can't.
you want to, but you just can't.
So the number one thing I'm seeing on
That's where you are.
Casper right here is a little bit of bearish divergence. As price was going up, volume was tapering off. You're kind of hanging out in a neutral time zone or neutral area here when it comes to your Scholastic RSI. Being under the part of control, or the point of control rather, just on the VPVR is never really a good sign. I'd be trying to pay attention to this hidden bearish divergence on Casper. Again, as price was going up, price was coming down. Volume was going down, I'm sorry. How do we look on a 4 hour? I think on a 4 hour still pretty much more of the same old, same old. You guys need Bitcoin to get some bids in order to try to pull this thing up. Because again, as price was going up here, you had volume. That was tapering off. Those are two things that you never really want to see. It's a good way to get caught up. Do I think you're going to fall below 3 cents? Probably not. Probably not. You might go down to like the low threes, but I don't think you fall beneath 3 cents. Because I think your next major area of buys is like 3.3. So maybe like you might fall another 1/10 of a cent. But I feel like Casper right now is just kind of going through a little bit of a cool off period. And it's needed though. It's needed. Because hell, since the summer started, I think you saw how much this thing has ran. Wow. This thing has been absolutely on fire. Since the summer, it ran up 271%. So even if you were holding spot, not even trading it, but you were just holding spot, you more than doubled your money. Shout out to Casper. Yeah, I was thinking right now it's definitely going to cool out. Watch Casper over like the next day, day and a half.
And I wish I had that, man, but the coin I loved was AGIX when it was 3 cents. Yeah, man. I was on that one, man, from 3 cents all the way up.
Yeah. Bullet Labs, what's going on, fam? What's going on?
I just wanted to say, man, you drew me out the other time. Like last week, sometime you was on somebody live and you talk about XRP. I believe it was with, and that was crazy, man. You had those people riled up.
I know what you're talking about.
I hold XRP. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
XRP a little bit, but I'm not delirious like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, if people like XRP, like, that's fine, right? The intent is never to try to get you guys to sell out your positions just based off of something that I said. It's more so, and hopefully, like, if I've done my job right, it's through having these conversations, people get an understanding of how I think, or maybe how other investors think, and then it kind of gets them to think about their own positions. And I've been through this exercise a number of times, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Quant, HBAR, other projects that I hold, because no one wants to hold a dud. I've been there before. I had Fanfare, I had Substratum. It's not any fun when you put money into these things and they don't kick out the ROI that you think they're going to kick out, right? So it's never really fun. And again, my main goal is to try to get people to think about, am I overexposed to something? Am I underexposed to something? What are the fundamentals? And is there a flaw in what I was originally thinking that I was getting into? And have things changed since I originally got into the project? You know, because everybody's here for money. So you got to figure out, how do I put myself in the best possible situation to win, to succeed? Right.
make your money, and get out. Live to
Right.
fight another day. And I have to remember that, live to fight another day, because in the bull run, different coins jump at different times. You
Mm-hmm.
catch a number of different projects and go up with them.
Yeah.
We have to remember that and not fall too in love with these coins, because some people are married to these coins. I mean, at a point, I have a conversation in my head. When am I going to sell certain coins, and when can I move on to another project?
Yep.
You have to have those healthy conversations for you to do well in crypto. If you don't have those conversations or set targets, then you're going to be a bag holder. And I was a bag holder in 2021 because I was new to the space.
Mm-hmm.
I got greedy. My money jumped from my money 4x. Did a 4x for me, and I got greedy thinking it's going to get higher and higher. Then it fell back down on my face,
Yep.
and I had to wait. I had to wait for it to go back up.
Yeah,
So
speaking on that, like I'm new to the crypto space. Like I've been in the crypto space since what 2022.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be my first bull run, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what advice do you got for somebody that's like in my position?
I think the first bit of advice I could say is find out what kind of investor you want to be. And here's what I mean by that. So you have investors who want to be more risk on, and you have investors who want to be more risk averse, meaning they don't want to take on a whole lot of risk. And so once you really get that identified, you're going to be able to detect or really figure out what kind of projects do you want to go into. And over time, understand that's probably going to be on a sliding scale. So people who come in early, when they understand what kind of opportunity is here, sometimes they want to go towards the smaller caps. The smaller caps, they carry more upside, but by default, they also carry more downside. And so what that means is if you stay at the party too long, you can watch a 10x go to 0. You can watch a 50x only go to 5. But if you're diligent and you're actually able to time it right, and the timing aspect, you got to have a lot of variables that go into that. Some of it, when you're just getting started out, might be luck. As you progress on, some of it might be just having access to the right people who can recharge, say, hey, it looks like it's getting ready to do this. You might want to take a look at doing that, whatever the case may be. And if you're able to time it right, as Jay was saying here a moment ago, who's in the other box, as he was saying a moment ago, you can take those X's and multiply them into other X's. There was an individual who was saying here, take a 10X and put it into another 10X. Who was that? I am him. Take a 10X, layer 1, take those profits essentially just later into the next to the next. But first and foremost, you got to find out what kind of investor you want to be, because that's going to steer you in terms of what projects you want to invest in.
Right. Thank you.
So let me ask you this: what coins do you actually have in your portfolio right now?
I have Quant, XLM, XRP. I have Render. What else? I don't know. I'm drawing a blank right now. Viat. You know. What else? Mana, Gala, and some other ones. But I don't have like Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. You
Why
know what I'm
not?
saying?
Well, it's good. I didn't hear the moon or some of these weird tokens. So it's good that you're not in some of this crazy stuff out there. So it's good to hear that you're in projects that can potentially go up in value. So
Mm-hmm.
I say that it's a positive at least. But
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, I listen to like Crypto Glenn. I listen to a lot of people, but I
Appreciate
mostly
that.
listen like Calvin Hill, like you was just talking about. I
Is
listen
it
to him
bad?
a whole lot.
Is it bad? I was like, I can tell what personalities people listen to based on what they're holding.
pretty much.
That's great.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. So why no Bitcoin? Why no Ethereum?
Right now I'm using Bitcoin as a
Okay.
Later on, I'll get into Bitcoin. Once I get into the space, but right now I'm just trying to stay. I don't know if they're layer ones or whatever, but I'm just trying to stay diversified.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
whatever gains I get, then I put it into Bitcoin.
And that's what Calvin says. He says to do that, take your altcoins and then turn them into bitcoins.
Mhm.
So
When I hear that, just being
that approach.
when I hear that, just being in the kind of climate that we're in now, the thing that I think about is, so in 2017, we didn't really have Wall Street looking into what we were doing. We only had Wall Street peer in when we eclipsed $500 billion market cap. In 2021, we had like some institutional money. We had a lot of venture capitalists that were in the space funding projects, that kind of nature. And so the thing that I question now is if the rumblings and the rumors, if the undertones are true, right? And you're going to get a $5 to $15 trillion windfall that comes into the space. What's the likelihood that Bitcoin just starts to run away and outpace a lot of other people that want to try and use the gains from alts and pour those into Bitcoin? Like, I wouldn't want. So right now, we've got an opportunity. You can buy Bitcoin right now for I'll call it 26,000, right? And we can put money into Bitcoin because it's 26,000. But what happens if it pops off to 150,000? And the money that essentially you could put into it, it starts to get farther and farther away from you versus saying, well, damn, if I just would have put some money in at 26, I'd be in and I'd be well on my way to running. But let's say I only got, 100,000 from all of my trades or 200,000 from all of my trades. What's the likelihood people want to put all of that 100 or all of that 200,000 into just one coin? You see what I'm saying? So it makes me think like if, and I'm not saying like do this because, there's fear there, or do this because I said do it. Like, believe me, it's your portfolio. Like, you run it the way that you see fit as you've been doing, right? But if people think that, I'll just be able to turn around and buy Bitcoin later, like what makes folks think that Bitcoin will always be there, or that the gains that you get will give you enough economy where you can buy the amount of Bitcoin that you would want? Like, if it were me, I would say, okay, it's 26 now. I'm going to take an allocation. So then if it starts to run, it's not going to run away from me. Like, I've got a position in Bitcoin. But then even if all my gains, like if I still can't get a sizable position in Bitcoin because of how far it's running, I'm still going to be all right. You know what I mean?
Right. I understand you talking about like getting priced out and everything.
Getting priced out because people think like it'll always be in comparison or relation to the rest of the crypto market. And I think like, for as much as we talk about diversification, like diversification is really selling the winner for the losers, and there's always the threat, if I can call it that, of you have all this outside money. Take a look at Bitcoin. They're like, this is the one we want to go to. And then Bitcoin really starts to take a very vast walk away from the rest of the market. So then even if you have gains, and you're likely to have gains, but maybe it doesn't really amount to a whole lot because Bitcoin went on this drastic run away from the rest of the market. And I mean, it may not happen, but it's just something that I think about.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is that the Bitcoin is not for me. If I do get Bitcoin, it's for the grandkids. You know what I mean?
Got you. Okay.
Like, some of the money, which I may or may not make,
Mhm.
I'm going to take that and put that into real estate. Like everybody say, if we're trying to build generational wealth.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to go out and get a Lambo. I don't care about that. I want to secure the future for my grandkids.
I love that.
I don't even like Lambos. I like Model X's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, man, if you ask me, I think Lambos are a bit played out, but that's only if you ask me. They're everywhere.
Big Glenn,
Yeah.
so do you think the Bitcoin cycle will one day break?
Like the
Where
4-year
it's not gonna
cycle?
go back down? You think?
You mean like after the bull run where it just doesn't retrace
It's
down?
Yeah, where it just takes a dive.
Yeah, I
One
think
day that's not gonna happen.
I do, and I think that happens after. So if you've been paying attention, like if you look on a chart of how Bitcoin behaves every 4 years, it's young. It's like a child, or at least it was. It was young. It was like a child, and it would have these real volatile swings. So if you got kids and your kids like, I want a sucker, and you're like, no, you can't have a sucker, and they throw themselves on the floor and they start throwing a temper tantrum. Well, when they get 4, they mellow out a little bit, and then when they get 12, they mellow out a little bit more, and then by the time they get to a teenager, they're kind of cool. And then after teenager, you go into your 20s and your 30s, and by then it's like you're going to be who you're going to be. I think there will come a certain point in time in Bitcoin's lifespan or the crypto lifespan where the wild volatile swings subside even more than they have now. And you don't have the market crashes after every bull run because you'll have enough money in the market that will just prop it up. Now, what's the other side to that? The other side to that is you don't have the violent, wild run up in the bull runs. They're calm. They're there, but it's not like 2017. It's not like 2021. So I think the more money that gets poured into, the more it'll mellow out. Where's everyone see XDC XLM? Yeah.
I was wondering about this Bitcoin ETF stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
So the Bitcoin ETF, if you're paying attention and we're like looking at the writing on the wall, you've got one of the sponsors of one of these ETFs, BlackRock. They're the largest asset manager in all the world. They have like $10 trillion worth of assets under management. It's like them, a nice gap, and then like the number 2 person. And so what they did is they filed for an ETF because they want to hold Bitcoin. They want to make Bitcoin available to their institutional customers. The institutional customers, they don't want to go in and buy Bitcoin spot because sometimes you just can't. Let me give you an example. So if I own Glencoe and I'm a publicly traded company, there's a lot of stuff that I can do with credit that I just can't do if I have to come up with cash, right? So if I want to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and I'm Glencoe, I got to get my board of directors involved. I got to get 7 actions from 4 living presidents. I have to, get assurances. I got to get my accountants on board. I got to draft a 10K report that's probably going to be 200 pages long. It's a big deal. You almost need like an act of Congress or an act of God for a publicly traded company to buy that much Bitcoin on that scale. Versus if it's on credit, I can just call up the phone and call my banker, someone that I've got a relationship with for the past 20, 30, 40 years. Give me $1 million worth of Bitcoin, exposure to Bitcoin, click and hang up. I don't have to get the treasury on board. I don't have to get the board involved. It's literally just a phone call. So the whole notion behind getting Bitcoin to an ETF status, it's great because in order for BlackRock to make that happen, they actually have to hold the Bitcoin, right? So that makes the price of Bitcoin go up because you're talking about purchasing vast quantities of Bitcoin to make it available. Now, once it becomes available and they hold it, well, now a lot of their institutional customers, they can come in and they can buy it on paper. So it's really just easier logistically for them to get exposure to Bitcoin via paper than it would for them to actually hold spot. Because then if they hold a spot, then they have to deal with custody issues and who's going to be the custodian. Does the CEO get the keys? Does the board get the keys? That whole entire deal. A lot of us are excited about it because we know if you get a spot ETF pass, again, that means you actually have to hold the underlying asset. And that's one investment vehicle in the crypto space we haven't seen yet. We've had futures. We've had, future markets. We haven't had a spot market. We've had Chicago Mercantile Exchange. They've came in, did their thing, but that was really used as an instrument to bring the price of Bitcoin down when it hit 20,000. So this is like one of the last final frontiers that we need in the crypto space to see exactly how this behaves. Now, there's been ETFs before that have been passed in like Brazil, Canada, I think a couple in Europe. I'm not sure if they're 100% spot though. Again, I think they're future based and I think they're on paper, but I don't think they're spot based. Yeah. Hopefully I explained that clearly. I mean, if not, let me know. I'll try to.
No, you explained it well, man.
Cool.
As always, you explain stuff well. I understand what you're saying.
Listen, man, that's a fear of mine. I just want to make sure, like, people, because sometimes I get in my own head and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to me, so it should make sense to everybody else, but sometimes it doesn't. You know?
Understood.
Yeah. So I mean, it would be huge for the Bitcoin space. And then the other part about it is, well, if one gets approved, so before BlackRock got this far in the application process, I think Van Eck, Gemini, ARK, like all these other companies, they had actually put forth for their application. But the SEC, they always came back and they said no. Then when BlackRock did it, they came back and they said no. And they said no because we don't know who your custody is going to be, who your custodian is going to be. So there's like an attribute there that's missing. Well, when BlackRock went through and reworked the application to say we're going to use Coinbase as our custody or our custodian, then the SEC was like, okay, well, now we'll move it into a formal acceptance or a formal review. And then once that happened, everybody else was like, okay, now we know what we need to put in our applications to at least get it to this point. So they went back and they reworked theirs. And now, like, you've got all these applications for a Bitcoin ETF that are just kind of sitting in the pipeline. And now you've got people who are saying, well, if one gets approved by default, you have to approve them all unless you're uncertain of the entity's ability to adequately manage the funds. If you've got some kind of idea where you think, I don't think these guys or these gals or these people are going to be able to manage it effectively, well, then you can kind of outright deny it. But they don't have anything to go off of that to just outright deny them. So now they're kind of just dragging their feet. What's cool about that is if they all get approved at the same time, that's more bodies that have to hold the Bitcoin. And what I think is unique is when you look at what BlackRock did, I think they kind of did all this at the same time. They said, we're going to file for the ETF. We're also going to take a majority interest in 4 out of the 5 major Bitcoin mining firms. So there's like Riot, Marathon Digital, and there's a couple other that I'm not really privy to. But if you own the controlling of the majority interest, you can go directly to the miners and you can say, hey, here's who you can sell to, here's who you can't sell to. And it's kind of messed up, but when you're the big dog in the room and you got that much sway, you can say, well, we're going to buy all of the Bitcoin that you mine. And why is that beneficial? Because if we buy it ourselves directly from the miners, we don't have to incur the fees that you might get when buying over the counter. So it's like BlackRock just putting another vertical into their business when it comes to Bitcoin. So I read that and I said, man, so BlackRock, they take a majority stake in 4 out of the 5 major Bitcoin mining farms. That's like, they got a direct pipeline to the Bitcoin. So now they can supply more Bitcoin to more of their institutions. Like, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's wild. That'd be like you selling the Medellin and it's like they got to come see you because you're the plug. It's you got to go to BlackRock to get it.
Hey, Glenn, don't they get discounts too?
Say again?
For those ETFs, they get discounts, don't they?
Yeah. So if you're talking about for supplying the Bitcoin because you're buying over the counter, the rates that you get, they're like significantly better than the rates you or I would get just buying 1 or 2 or a handful at a time. It's wild, man. Like the way they mastermind this whole entire thing. Yeah, they're buying like tens of thousands at a time, or at least they will be. That's crazy. And again, that goes back to my point. It's like, well, what if the price of Bitcoin starts to drastically take a walk away from the rest of the market? It's like Bitcoin is going to be a solid gap and then like everybody else. It's going to be wild.
So you would advocate buying now, Bitcoin now, because potentially if it gets to 150,000 or something or whatever it might get to in the bear market, it may drop down to 90,000 or something, something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at it,
You'll kick it up and say, man, I remember it was 20.
and I know a lot of people who were saying that at 3, they were like 3,000 came and everybody was like, oh, it's done, it's a wrap, it's never gonna come. And I'm like, I remember seeing this thing fall from 20 to 3, and then it came back to 3 again in COVID, and everybody was like, oh, it's done. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I I don't think so. I think now would probably be a pretty good opportunity to buy something. Like, nah, bro, it's done. It's a wrap. And then it ran to 70, and everybody was like, how the bleep did you know that? I'm like, I've seen this movie before. It went from 20 to 3, from 3 to like 12 or 15, from 15 back to 3, from 3 to 70. That's a spectrum. And so now you figure like it'll keep doing this yo-yo thing, but again, now you've got more players, bigger eyes, players with deeper pockets that are like, yeah, that Bitcoin thing, we like it. Like there's a reason they're not saying we want to buy more Tron coin than Tron that's mined in a day. There's a reason why it's Bitcoin. There's a specific reason why. And I think the ETFs, they have to come on board because the ETFs will give these banks more exposure to Bitcoin, which essentially is going to keep them afloat for the next 4 to 5 years. And the banks themselves, they're not in great shape. You can't peddle real estate because everybody already knows about real estate. You can't peddle equities because people already know about equities. You got to go somewhere else where no one is really looking. And over here in crypto, like we got our big fish, but for the most part, it's like hobbyists. It's like smaller people that are over here. So you're going to invest in something that has a smaller market cap than say gold or real estate or pensions or retirement. And you're going to come over here and then you're going to take that and you're going to go to all your customers and say, hey, we got this new product that's going to have a tremendous amount of upside potential for you. And then your customer is going to be like, yeah, well, we want exposure to that. And so they get to make money off the fees and they get to make money off of managing those accounts. And you look up 4 or 5 years later, they've made money. Everybody else is hurting because they're not holding currency debasement assets all the while government is going through printing more money. None of this is brand new. It's like if you've been paying attention since 2008, it's like the same thing all over again, except after 2008 happened when real estate hit the boom and stock market hit the boom for the 11 year because rates are low. Well, now you're not going to be in that same environment, and they have to introduce a new player into the game because everything else is tapped out. Everything else is maxed out. It's got to be crypto. It's got to be Bitcoin. My opinion, anyway.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to look into Bitcoin, but not enough, though. I don't know enough.
Like I said, I'm like, every chance I get, I'm just, let me buy some more. Let me buy some more. And I hate where it's at now because ultimately I will be raising my my cost of acquisition. But again, I think large scale, long term, like it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. I just don't want to look up in the future and be like, damn, you know what? I probably should have bought more. Like I think if I even get the inclination that I would have that feeling, I'm like, pull the trigger, got to buy some more. Like I do not want that feeling. Not at all. Not at all.
And I wish we had that opportunity to be able to buy $3,000 Bitcoin.
It was dope. It was dope. Everybody was freaking out. That's why I didn't pay attention this time when the news was like, oh, crypto bad. I'm like, This is the same thing y'all said last time and y'all wrong. Y'all been wrong before and you'll be wrong again.
And you came in when you was able to buy B&B dirt cheap, man.
Bro, it was like 9 cents. Like, what?
Exactly.
It was 9 cents.
Man.
It was.
Myself over that. I wish I was in the space because you could have. I mean, that 9 cent went to
600 and like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Man, that's some nice seed money for Bitcoin.
Brother, I was out here taking scalps. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying like the biggest thing back then, we talked about FUD earlier. People, oh, they're FUD, it's FUD, it's FUD. I'm like, at a certain point, you just got to block out the noise and stick to your plan. Again, I saw Bitcoin go from just under 9 to 20, from 20 to 3, from 3 to 15, from 15 back to 3, from 3 to 70. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's never been stronger fundamentally. Like all those years ago, we never had people saying, yeah, I want to buy more Bitcoin in a day than Bitcoin are actually mined. Or we never had the largest asset manager on the planet say, yeah, Bitcoin, we want that. Like we've never had these things. And for some reason, we think it's just going to shrink and retract and go away. Like, no. No. There's going to come a point in time where companies that are not Web3 native will need companies who are very Web3 native to spin up and facilitate their needs on the blockchain. Again, I think that's going to be a huge opportunity. I think if assurances get underway and you can take a lot of the scary boogeyman aspect out of DeFi, DeFi is going to pop off like crazy. I think in terms of like Ethereum and like the gas fees, and people always forget that Ethereum's gas fees were never supposed to go away with ETH 2.0, but they were supposed to go away with sharding. When sharding comes out, when that reduces gas fees, I think Ethereum is going to take a walk away from all of the alleged Ethereum killers, you know? But because I think Ethereum runs, I think it'll pull up the number 2 and number 3 spot, whoever it is at that time, who are supposed to be the ETH killers, the smart contract players. But I don't see a pathway to this space shrinking, contracting, and going away for good. Do I think there's a possibility that you could get Bitcoin 9850 to 11,200? Sure, and we've talked about that. There's certain gaps that are on the chart. There's certain wicks that are on the chart, and those need to fill. But I don't see where like you wake up one day and it's just like, oh, the Bitcoin fad is over. Like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it.
But let me ask you, was that your path though when you got the when your BNB went to the moon? Was your path? Did you know your path was to go into BTC, or it just wasn't? Or
So I've always, so I'm very different when it comes to this. So let's say if I buy whatever I buy in one crypto, I try to make the matching buy with Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin for me is just like that's the one, right? I hold alts. I have positions in other coins, but Bitcoin is the one. So if I buy 1,500 ADA, whatever that cost equates to, I have to put that amount into Bitcoin. Like it's a hard fast rule that I have for myself. Like I used to tell my friends all the time. I'm like, yo, make sure y'all feed the Bitcoin monster. And what does Bitcoin monster like to eat? US dollars. So if I buy $1,500 worth of Ethereum, I got to buy $1,500 worth of Bitcoin. Like whatever it is. Like I will never make a purchase on one crypto that I won't make into Bitcoin. Like I will not do it. And so when BNB started to run, I always knew I wanted to be in Bitcoin. Always knew it. And so Bitcoin, that's the one that I always made sure I made allocations to.
BNB is like, you know how we see Casper? Because Casper started with some zeros behind it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And like when I look at the BNB chart, that's what BNB ended up turning into from what 2017 to 2021.
It was like 19 or so. Yeah.
I mean, it was as low as 9 cents.
It was so cheap, dude. It was cheap. It was so cheap. You're looking at this thing like, man, there's no way. Like I'm not gonna buy it because again, we had just come off of the ICO craze, right? And everything was ICOing, so it was difficult to distinguish the noise from value. Because in the ICO craze, like coins were coming out like crazy, but then they were dying in 2 days, a week, a month, if it even took that long. So here comes this new BNB thing. The only thing that BNB really had going for it was the fact that it was Binance's. That's it. And so Binance being the juggernaut that they are, again, you're looking at things from a fundamental standpoint. You're like, what's the likelihood Binance comes out with a coin just to meme and rug everybody? Probably not likely. It's possible. It's just not probable. So, you're looking at it. Okay, what are the benefits? Okay, you're going to give me better fees on my trades. All right, well, as a trader, I can see how that would be valuable. So you're essentially going to be the house coin for this entire exchange. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. That's probably one that I need to be into.
Man, I was just late to the party though, man.
That's
Just like with Vivi, late to the party.
Yeah, but listen, I think you're going to do well with Vivi.
Same thing with
I think you're going to do well with
I'm
Vivi.
trying to catch a wave. Yeah, I'm trying to catch a wave somewhere, man.
Yeah, I think you're
I'll
definitely gonna
catch a
catch it.
wave.
I wouldn't even trip on it. And really, there's been a few like that, but so AGIX called AGIX before it started to pump, and then it goes crazy, and I'm like, all right, sell off, everything, initial investment, profit, turn it into a moon bag. That's fine. But I tell people this all the time, and like my story hasn't changed. I think one of the things that has led me to this space of being successful is being okay with not catching everything. I know people who are on Telegram, like they're trying to keep up with the latest and the greatest coins, and I'm like, I never wanted to be so diverse. I was too diluted, and that can be problematic. So I'm okay with not catching everything.
So, so for the upcoming bull run, how many coins do you actually have in your portfolio?
That's a good question.
10, 20 maybe?
I think 20 might even be high.
Yeah, I mean, I got too many, I ain't gonna lie. I got about, I got about 50. I
50.
got about 50, man. I
Damn.
got a spreadsheet. Yeah,
Yeah, you were all over the place. 50. My gosh.
it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I tell people if you
Yeah,
can manage
I'm like,
50, have 50. If you can
I'm like,
manage 60, have 60. If you can manage 200, have 200.
it's gonna be difficult, but the beautiful thing is this right here.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
gonna be the beautiful thing. That's where my liquidity. Some of the coins I'm gonna have to go to certain places to cash
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna have to go to certain places. I'm gonna look on Coin Market Cap and say, oh, okay, there's some liquidity over there.
Let me
So
go
I'm
in.
gonna go on over there
Yeah.
and cash out on certain coins.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't understand that, but that's what I'm gonna do.
That's the game
You
plan.
know, I'm not gonna be on Coinbase being in line. While everybody else is in line, everybody's in line.
Nah.
As Robin Hood, like Robin Hood did with the GameStop and AMC, what they did. I'm not,
That was rotten.
I
That
gotta
was rotten.
stop myself.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said that was rotten what they did with GameStop. That was crazy.
Yeah, and then they didn't get in trouble, man. And they really didn't get in trouble. There were some people standing to make a whole bunch of money, but if people sued them, yeah, I mean, the thing is, when Wall Street gets into crypto, they're gonna figure out schemes and try to play us all again.
They can
So
try.
that's why, to me, that's why this bull run is so important right now. They're not established.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we have an opportunity, while we're not established, to get our positions to make our wealth while we can.
Exactly.
But when they get into the second bull run, they're gonna set traps. They're gonna do so many things to prevent us from getting to where we want to be.
Yeah, my whole thing has
That's
just been
just
like
how I see it.
never give them the ability to do that or make it as difficult for them as they possibly can, as you possibly can. You know.
They're gonna come out with synthetic stuff like AMC. When I've gotten AMC, then I start to hear they have synthetic shares. They're just creating shares out of the sky. They're just creating shares
Yeah.
and doing things. It just that's just so sick.
I hear the
So they can
rumblings of
always
that.
win.
I don't subscribe to that theory. Like I figure like the coins that you have on the exchange, I don't see how anybody could just pop in and make like a fake coin, right? Like the math would not math. The APIs they would tell you, right? So when you go on Live Coin Watch or you go on Coin Market Cap and you're taking a look at the coin that you're interested in, it tells you, hey, here's how much that's out in supply. There's a excuse me, there's like an
I
API
mean,
that tracks
I
that.
agree with you. I agree with you, man. But the math wasn't mathing with AMC, man. The math wasn't mathing.
Well, no, they just weren't routing
AMC.
the orders. You put in your order to buy or sell, and they were just like, we're just not sending this to Citadel. We're sending the data, we're sending the information. We're just not sending it to them for them to execute.
And they didn't get in trouble either. I mean, they supposedly got in trouble, but they didn't get in trouble. It's like,
Yeah,
man, they're fixing the game.
Yeah.
I just feel like in crypto, while we got a chance, while they're not established, we can make our money in this bull run.
Yep.
But then the next bull run, they're gonna figure out a way to start to run the game on us.
That's why I keep my
That's just kind of
nose
how I
and
see
my
it.
head down to these news, and I'm constantly reading. Like everybody wants to like, how do you find the stuff that you find? If you were a fly on the wall and you were just like, let me see how much Glenn reads about this crypto stuff on a daily, it's a grotesque amount. It's ridiculous. And some of it I filter out because I'm like, okay, that's not a big story, or that really doesn't bear any significance. Or some I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good one. Like, we got to talk about this, you know? But I'm about to actually get ready to do some reading right now because, again, I just want to see what's been going on in the 4.5 hours that we've been live, 3.5, 4 hours that we've been live. Yeah. Because, like, I need to see what's popping. I need to see what's going on. Always got to keep that info up. And there's so many places to check, right? So many places to check. You can never really stay abreast on it. Like I was checking Court Listener just to try to get the updates on the SEC lawsuit with Ripple Labs and see what new motions have been filed. Why? Because you can't get the wrong information from Court Listener. Court Listener is getting it directly from the court reporter. It's them. There's no middleman to misconstrue or alter what's being said to provide ambiguity. Like it's directly coming from the court. Directly. Like I was looking at the transaction report yesterday, and it was, here's how much transactions Bitcoin, or not Bitcoin, but how much transactions the crypto space has done in relation to like Visa, MasterCard, and from 20 to 2023, I'll have to post a video on it. It was completely one-sided. Completely one-sided. Like the cryptos you would expect to see up there were not up there. And the cryptos you wouldn't expect to see up there was up there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know when we talk about this, like this is going to throw some people. So I think there's a value in just, again, following the objective people and the people who just want to get the information out there, but not in an order where it's rushed and they get a misstep or like they just want to be objective in it. And that's one of the things I pride myself on.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Do you follow Bare Naked Crypto? Do you follow him?
I don't.
Because I mean, that guy's been kind of on it about things.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been talking about how Binance is in some hot water and different things like that.
Hey, listen, man. If Binance really is in hot water, if Binance is in jeopardy, if Binance is in hot water and if Binance is in jeopardy, and if they go down, it's going to give you opportunity to buy some really good crypto that you like for unbelievable prices. It's going to be crazy.
I mean, to me, I think it'd be bad for the space, though.
I mean, it could be bad for the space, but it'll rebound eventually. That's really why I don't panic about a lot of this stuff. I'm like, if it goes down, it goes down. Cool. We're going to get an opportunity to buy some really good stuff at a really good price. And then when it comes back, like everybody will be better for it. But what I don't want to see happen is I don't want people to look and be like, oh my God, those prices are down. I can't buy it. And they get analysis paralysis and they just sit there and they freeze. And then before you know it, the prices are starting to come back up and like, damn, I missed an opportunity.
That's kind of how I am kind of right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's going to get lower, but I just need to get in and just start buying more,
Yeah. Again, you're not trying to blow the whole entire wad, right? You're just like, I'm gonna peel off a couple dollars from the wad of cash that I got, and I'm just gonna buy in accordingly, little by little. Little by little. All right.
I'm trying to be you, man. I'm trying to get like you, man.
Listen.
I did a good bull run there, you know what I'm saying?
I can't wait, man. I'm so excited for y'all. I'm so excited for y'all.
Then I want to come to your town, man. You know that?
Come on. Come on, man.
And be taught how to trade personally.
Come
So
on,
you
man.
make the money, the kind of money you make. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
I haven't seen you lose yet on your trade.
You know what?
I
And
haven't seen
people
you lose yet on your trades, man.
people post that, they'd be like, "Oh, you're not posting all of them." I'm like, listen, when I get one that doesn't go right, I'm going to post it. Like, I have nothing to hide. Like, I'm human. Have I lost trades before? Yeah, I just got a really good hot hand right now. I just got a really good hot hand right now that I've had for, what was this, September? A number of months. When I fudge one though, I show y'all. Like, I will show y'all. It's not that I'm cherry picking. I'm like, oh, I can only show the good. No, when I biff one, I'm gonna show y'all. Y'all gonna be like, see, he's human. He does bleed. Of course, of course. I'm just taking my time with it though. Like, we ain't even gotten into crazy shit yet. We haven't even gotten into the crazy stuff yet, where the markets are extremely volatile, and it's. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I just gotta get there, man, because sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, being a new investor, you know, I've been in since 2021 and haven't seen all the cycles
Mm-hmm.
in order. It just sometimes causes me to just worry. You know, I think about it a little bit, like what if something happens and
Yeah.
it just don't work out, you know? I just have to trust the process.
You gotta trust the process. And here's the other thing I tell people all the time, like, yo, if y'all see me trading, like, ask a question. I would be more than happy to answer it, because I know what it's like to be the new person trying to figure stuff out. And A, there's nobody to answer it, or B, you got to go to 17 different sources to try to find an answer like that. It's nerve wracking. It's nerve wracking. So I tell people all the time, like, if you're trading and you're trying to get like something figured out, let me pop in over here and let me ask Glenn, see if Glenn can answer it. And if I can't, at least we both tried, and, you know, I answered it. You know, I tried to answer it, and at least, you know, okay, I might have to go find somebody else. But don't not ask the question, because for whatever reason, like, I don't know, like, I'm a curious person. Like, if the shoe's on the other foot, I'd be like, hey, bro, what does this one do? What does this oscillator do? What's the scope? How do you have this one set up? When do you know when? And I would just ask until people got tired and blocked me. But no one's going to block you if they really want to help you. You know what I mean? At least that's just the way I see it.
My thing is this, man. I'm new to trading. I trade a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I got some wins under my belt, but
Good.
I don't have enough education to be able to ask those questions that may be able to help me.
You just ask with whatever you got. You just ask with whatever you got.
You know, because I can make. I mean, I'm able to short,
Mm-hmm.
long on some stuff, and I make money doing that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, as you continue to do it more and more and more, you begin to mature, and then to understand to ask more questions that is it's going to cause you to grow even more. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm not at that point to be able to ask those questions to grow even more. You know?
You're saying, like, I got questions, but I don't even know what questions to ask.
Exactly.
Got you.
Exactly.
Got you.
You know, I mean, I could set a long or a short and make some money, but you know, maybe I could, you know, like the other day, Calvin was doing something where he had something where he had a ratio of 3 and a way to figure out things. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of the things are that's beyond me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I think that was like a profit or a risk reward ratio. Yeah, definitely understand that. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of that, you know.
yeah. Well, I get that.
I can run some Fibonacci. You know, I can do those things,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not at the point where I'm a master, you know.
Got you. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're all still learning,
One day
right?
I wanna do some copy reading.
Yeah, somebody was telling me about that. They were like, you should get on like an exchange where they do copy trade. I'm like, I wouldn't even know how to set that up, but I should definitely take a look at maybe learning that, and that way if people want to do the copy trading thing, if we figure it out like how the inner workings of how it works, making that available for people.
Yeah, exactly. And then from there you can explain things.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my thought process of what I think is going to happen. You know, you can help people set up their trading view in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, so you can strategically teach your methodology.
Yep.
You know, because sometimes when I'm watching, I don't know totally everything. You know, and you have a certain methodology about how you're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so many different factors that, you know, a new person watching can't fully understand. You know.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to start doing is like when I start looking at that chart stuff, I'm just going to start trying to reduce it to its most simplistic form, and maybe even get it to a point where I'm over explaining. At least then, like you said, it kind of gives more insight as to like what's going on in the old dome piece.
Exactly, like you could do a video just saying, okay, guys, if you know on Tuesday I'm going to be doing this, but this is how you set up your trading view, so you're ready
Yeah.
to be able to participate in my class or whatever I'm going to do for that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we can all be ready with you. You know.
Yeah, I think I'm
We can
definitely
all
going to
be
run
set
that.
up with you.
That's actually really good feedback. That's really good feedback.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Help set everybody up because there's so many indicators, there's so many different things that it's just a whole bunch of stuff. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just lots of different indicators that we want that you might pull up and you're like, where do you get that from? You know?
Right. Yeah, because I see a lot of people talking about like some indicators that they use on TradingView are like custom or they made it, but it's not. It's not, and that pains me because I'm like, man, if you guys are lying about indicators, what else are you lying about? And we can't have that.
Some people are selling indicators.
Yeah,
Some people are like, no, this indicator. I'll shoot you this code once give me your ID for your trading view,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll shoot you this this particular indicator. You know, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I don't mind that if it's like
And
indicators that people are actually building, right? But it's not a clone. It's not one that's really out for free, and you're just kind of giving people the ability to find it. But it's like one that you actually made. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's indicative to you, like you actually made it. But like I said, I see a lot of people, oh yeah, this is custom, but it's like I know exactly where to go in the library tree to get that. Like there's nothing custom about it. So that's what that is. Let me do some of this reading here. I'm gonna jump off here for a minute. I'm gonna come back here probably sometime tomorrow and chop this up with you guys. Again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining me here on YouTube. Appreciate you always. MVY, Crypto Creos, Ash, Stephen Blades, my man Juan Mendez. To my folks here on TikTok. Woken. You already know the deal, man. I appreciate you. The support. The commentary. Running this live with me, as always. Just good, man. Getting fat. Getting good and fat. Yeah. She's starting to do the belly laughs now, so that's fun. You're doing silly stuff just to make her laugh. Yeah. All right, man. Y'all know how I end these lives, right? Say it again. I'm thinking I'm done, man. I'm good. I don't know if that's really in the cards. I don't know. I don't know if it's in the cards, man. I don't know if it's in the cards. I think I'm only making girls, man. I'm doing my part to beautify the world, I'm doing my part.
So do you got any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, man, I got a ton. ton. They stopped after me though. They were like, "Yeah, I think we got it right, man. I think we got it right." So this one here, I think we got it right. Oh, am I glitching?
You want to keep your last name going, right?
I mean, that's the goal.
I mean, I don't know. Oh, yeah.
That's the goal. Am I glitching? I might be. My chest not loading.
Empire going, man. Gotta keep the empire going, Glenn.
Yeah, I tell you what. Tell the universe to send me a couple boys. We'll see how that rolls. We'll see how that rolls. I can't even see who my top viewers are, man, because this thing won't load up. So I might be bogging down on the network. I actually do got a couple machines running, so that's probably it. All right, folks. It's been real with y'all on this live. No, a couple machines. Other PCs running. Yeah. But I appreciate y'all for joining me on this live. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna run this one back tomorrow. This one was pretty fun. We're gonna be back here tomorrow. I can't say all the top viewers by name because it just won't load, so I don't know what's going on. So I will see y'all in the next one. I appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. Enjoy your Labor Day. Enjoy Labor Day. That's wrong. All right, y'all. Peace now.